Yo, all these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, what am I doing? Did I do it right? Yeah, all these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, I can't think straight, need the light. I need to breathe, get me up and out of the sheets, onto my feet. Another cup of coffee and me, that's what I need. My eyes puffy, I can't see. I'm too tired to function, but too lost to sleep. Ay, I think I need to be on something medication. I think I need to figure out the segregation. I think I needed just a better education to understand a world that's so complicated. Intoxicated, every night faded, just so I can sleep thinking that it's hated. I feel hated, I feel hatred. I'm lost deep in my mind that I've created. I have dreams where my life is devastated. Feel so real that I wake up shaking. Need thicker skin cause this life is no haven. Nod your head if you get what I'm saying. All these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, what am I doing? Did I do it right? Yeah, all these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, I can't think straight, need the light. Yo, all these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, what am I doing? Did I do it right? Yeah, all these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, I can't think straight, need the light. I don't really think I understand this world now. Got my head spinning round in a circle. Everybody lacks what they need internal, so they compensate with everything external. Not trying to throw shade, no way. I'm just trying to find the meaning of life, hey. There's happiness if you try to live the right way. Forget about what others have and live your life, hey. Be aware of who you are, what you're good at. Take a step forward, see where your foot's at. Stand tall, stand proud, talk loud. Every word out your mouth has purpose now. You just gotta get rid of the bad thoughts. Hating others cause you know that they got a lie. Forget that though, you got plenty, you're alive in this life. You got time, go get it. All these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, what am I doing? Did I do it right? Yeah, all these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, I can't think straight, need the light. Oh, all these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, what am I doing? Did I do it right? Yeah, all these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, I can't think straight, need the light. Oh.
Hey y'all, how we doing? I have Joni here with me, and I also had Mona, and Mona seemed to drop off.
Yeah, she had one of her kids called, so she I think will be back after, but something she had to deal with real quick. So
Okay,
I don't
okay,
know actually how quick, but yeah, she sent me a message letting me know.
okay. Why
Yeah.
is this not coming down? Hold on one second. Sorry, I want to get this off the screen. So, how has everyone been? I know it's been a while since I've done a live, so I probably will be very rusty at it, just to let you guys know.
I don't think you're ever rusty at it. I think you're always
Yeah,
great at it.
I am rusty at it, and if my and you know what happens if this internet goes. Oh Lord, help me!
Oh,
Hey,
well,
Cindy and Arlene and Chatty. I'm trying to see everybody who's in here. Let's see. Um, yeah,
that's a
see,
good response for doing it last second. A lot of people.
is there?
Yeah. Well, I mean, from what I can tell, it's a pretty full chat. I don't know the number. I'm not looking at a number right now.
Right, I'm trying to get over to my chat so I can see who's in here. I just like to say hi to people. Of
Hmm.
course, we have Jan and Pickleball, Pamela. Long time no see. Lori D, Julie. Hey guys. So this is a quick impromptu and Chatty Hag with do crafting. Um, I don't know if anyone just I don't know if Jim is still live or not. He could be. Hey Rachel Rose. He could very well be live. I was actually and this is how honest I'm gonna be, okay? I was actually in the bathtub soaking and I got a notification. James Henson is live. So I'm not gonna lie. I clicked on it. And what I heard was him talking about a hot water heater, and they have had no hot water for a week.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of got me a little going. I'm not going to lie. He said it could have been. He said it could have been from the frost that maybe they didn't wrap his water pipes, and if he pays for it, he's going to call the insurance. And but number one, you have not a dime to your name.
Right.
That's first and foremost. Hey, Charla. Number two, it's going to be Sally that takes care of that.
Hmm.
Number three,
Always is.
you have a stage 4 cancer patient residing at that home where hot water is a necessity. for her to be clean, to go ahead and clean those wounds. You're telling me you've gone a week without hot water? Well, how does it smell over there?
I guess it
Um,
doesn't phase them since they're used to not doing that. But, I can tell you guys that we had that happen here with those pinhole leaks, and we had a way to go outside and turn them on. And so, what we had to do was we had to stop having hot water heater just flowing or hot water all the time while my husband fixed what was going on. He got so fed up waiting on insurance, he got in there and fixed some of it. But my point is that I cannot imagine being without it. I mean, it was just an inconvenience, D, to have to get on a ladder. He had to show me how to do it, how to turn it on quickly so I could get a shower, so I could wash the dishes and that kind of thing. And then I had to shut it back off because the hot water was what was causing those pinhole leaks
oh,
in this one.
wow.
Yeah. But my point is, I was able to have it. It just was an inconvenience. You know what I mean? And even when I did it, I couldn't do it very long because it would start causing the ceiling where anyway, that doesn't matter. But my point is, though, is going without it wasn't an option. You know what I mean? It was a big inconvenience here, but at least I still had some. I cannot imagine not having it at
A
all.
week.
A
A week.
week, I would be beside myself. I mean, I guess we just are so used to the luxuries of hot showers and to be able to clean dishes. Let me tell you, I tried cleaning dishes with cold water because I didn't want to have to go out and do that. Not just because it's climbing up, because it only takes like couple minutes to do it, but it makes if you keep it on long enough, it starts to make the leak worse or the damage area worse. So that's why
Right.
you have to turn it back on. So D, I mean, I was like, you know what? I'll just wash with cold water. It's very hard to get dishes clean with just cold water. I now know this. You know what I mean?
Right. And he mentioned the heating element, and usually the heating element is
Yeah.
to what's drying it,
Right.
right?
So
Hey,
he's
Finny, if you want to join, let me know. There's a link
oh,
somewhere.
there she is. Yay. So yeah, that was crazy that to go without.
Yeah,
I
well, and
just
then also what I was thinking about, Joni, it could be just a pilot light. He said he's got to go outside to check. What he's talking about is he's going to go up and look at the pipes or
yes,
whatever, if they're
exactly.
insulated. Well,
Yeah.
have you checked your hot water tank just to see if the
Yeah.
pilot light is still working?
Yeah. And yes,
And
Chatty, it has been a huge pain. I mean, we're blessed that insurance is taking care of some of it, but I mean, it's just because my builder used a subgrade product that is in thousands of lawsuits now, and it's unfortunate. And we could go that route, you guys. We could join onto a lawsuit, but the point for now is that we're not going to because it's just not worth it. But I guess we just overlook what a luxury it is to have that and to go for a week D with none at all. I can't imagine to like Chatty saying to have to boil water. Oh my gosh.
yeah, you know what? But it's hot water. You could fill a sink and still do your dishes.
Yeah, right.
You know
So
what
I
I
mean,
mean?
no, that's a great point. Yeah. So it's just I can't,
Oh,
oh,
Penny's here.
I was shocked to hear them say that. Hey, there's a girl.
Hey, ladies. I
Did-
was totally out there in my usual left field. I was actually working
Oh,
on putting stuff together, and actually, I had this urge to like deep clean my kitchen today.
oh,
So
no,
I missed his phenomenal live, I guess.
yeah.
Oh, listen. Okay.
Did I
Now,
miss something?
how does it?
Hey, and I did try. I'm just gonna tell you this. I did try and say hello in the chat, and nobody can see me.
You're
As
not
as
blocked, though. I
Finny.
went through it twice.
I know, but I'm just saying. I did
Did
it
you block
again.
me?
No,
Oh,
no, because honey, your comments show up on my stuff all the time.
Tasha, later go through my block list for me and see if you see Finny's name because I can't find it.
It's
Okay.
under Finding Finny.
Yeah, no, I
But
know.
yeah,
And one time I was showing things and remember, and I was blocked. I had you blocked because I was showing everybody I
yeah.
blocked and I seen finding Finny and I unblocked you.
No, no, yours come through. I say I because I talk to you
Right.
and that kind of thing. When you make a comment, yours come through, and
Hmm.
I'll respond or something, or heart it, and
Right.
yours always show up.
So I definitely have to have Tasha do it for me. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Because there's over 370 names now.
Good
It's just
grief.
pathetic that there are that many, Dee, that you have to deal
It's
with.
really a lot for me to go through. I'm not going to lie to you. It really
That's
is.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's
It
an
can-
insane amount. I mean, I'm thinking I've got a lot because I've got about like 30 some block now.
No, it says click the
Drop
next
in the bucket.
98. Click the next 98. Click the next. I'm like, what?
What?
Dee, what? Wow, I thought I had a lot. No,
Wow.
I've got over 100.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
but
Yeah, I've got
Jim,
just a drop in the bucket compared to
we
wow.
can watch the beginning of it. That's where it got to me. Jan did say, hold on. What did Jan say? Someone said something about me. Hold on, Jan. I seen it.
Probably
I think
me.
our Becca. It was Becca that said something about me. Probably you. No, what is it? Okay, I'm not good at. Hey, Jan, if you could type that again, I know I'm a pain in the butt. It's hard to look through the chat. I'm sorry. Becca Iverstone said something about me in Jim's chat.
Becca.
Oh,
I'm so
she's,
loved.
she's a peach, isn't she?
Well, she is.
Now,
That's a nice
Joni,
phrase.
I have a question for
Awesome.
you.
Yes, ma'am.
Because Jan says our water heater is electric. Okay. I have an emergency electric shut off. Okay. But I
Mhm.
still have a pilot light. That doesn't make it electric, right? Because I have a pilot light, right?
Did you hear that, baby? What is it?
What?
Ask that question one more time, Diane.
Say it
Okay.
again.
So I have a hot water heater that has like an electric, like light switch, like turn it off for an emergency.
Mhm.
And I was wondering, is it considered gas or is it considered electric or is just my pilot electric? I'm confused.
Well, if you have a pilot, then it's gas.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Um, the the electric part is probably just the. I'm not sure what that's about. That's probably just
The
for the
igniter switch.
have it kick on, so
Okay.
that the thermocouple is reading the temperature in the vessel. So if
Mhm.
you turn the thermocouple off, then it won't come on.
Yeah, mine's working great, but I'm worried about the Hensons. They've been without hot water for a week, and I'm like, can't you just check a pilot light? I've
Well,
done it myself.
an electric one won't have a pilot light.
Well, he doesn't have electric. Someone asked in the chat about they had an electric one, so I was curious if I did because I had that light switch. I'm a moron.
Who knows with them, you know?
No, I
I
mean
mean,
the igniter that kicks the flame on is
Yeah,
electric. That's
yeah,
what the electric part is. It's what actually because you've got the gas going, okay, and so the gas is
yeah.
just kind of going, but you got to have something to actually
they do it.
ignite it.
Okay, okay.
So that's what the electrical part is. I
So
think.
here's what Becca said. Becca told Jim, you said you better not find out Nellie is running to him with the info. Jim told her he didn't want to hear about it. Like, you know what? If Nellie's out there, Nellie, just don't go running back like a big tattle ass, going back and throwing an older woman under the bus.
Yeah, shame. I mean,
Add
just
respect.
I would truly be absolutely appalled at myself doing that. I mean, I would just be appalled if yeah, Sally has hurt no one. She has
No,
hurt no one. You know,
no.
she's not taken out thousands in PPP loans she didn't qualify for. She hasn't done the things that, you know, someone else has done that have been just so offensive to people. No, Sally's done nothing but overly provide
And
for.
kindness,
Well,
just taking care of
Yeah,
them.
did Dee actually say that anywhere? That you
Well,
better
I
not
can
find
say it
out
in.
Nellie is running to Jim.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that. I was like, Nellie, I hope you're not running back. I
Yeah, that's
hope.
a whole different. I hope is not. It's not threatening. She's just saying she hopes this isn't true because it's very disappointing. There's
Right.
big difference.
Yeah.
Big difference than saying, "Well, I better not find out Nellie's running to
I
Jim."
know, right? Like big bad Dy-Dee. So my thought is, right, if there is a switch, okay, because we know Jerry doesn't clean, could Jerry have knocked it off on purpose?
What, to try to keep Sally at home, not being able
Correct.
to?
Like give more and more problems with the house? Does everyone else have a little power
She can't
switch to
sell
turn
it.
off their little pilot light?
So she can't sell it.
Correct. To have more problems pop up.
I
What?
wouldn't put anything past Jerry. That's all I'll say there as far as that's concerned, because I mean, she's going to only grow more and more desperate.
Maybe it's only in the movies, but have you ever seen a movie where somebody, like, the villain is gonna like blow up a house, and what
Mhm.
he does is he turns on the like a gas oven or whatever, maybe the water
Yeah.
heater, and he blows out the pilot, the flame,
Mhm.
so that it's basically just the gas that's coming out. There's no flame to it, so it's just the gas. I mean, well, Charlotte just said it. She blew it out. Is
Uh,
that a possibility?
no,
Right.
Oh, Todd
no.
says no. I
The
believe
flame,
Todd.
the pilot is directed towards looks like a thick needle. It's called a thermocouple.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So if the thermocouple does not detect heat, when the pilot goes out, it will shut gas off to the pilot stream.
So that's just in the movies.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let me just ask this. Has it always been that way, or is that a newer safety feature?
No, it's been that way for decades.
That's a good question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
All
I
right.
know if I turn my switch off, maybe it's the gas or something that doesn't go to the pilot light. That was why it goes off or something.
Well, and the other day, so I guess I don't know how ours got turned off for our fireplace, and I had to have him come light it because I can turn on our fireplace, but if the pilot goes out,
Gas down here before we went on vacation and turned the gas off.
oh, so he turned it off before he went on vacation. All right, but anyway, I mean, it took a while for him to get it lit. I don't remember what the problem was.
I was doing it wrong.
Oh, he was doing it wrong. Anyway, but I don't know. I mean, these two don't know how to. I mean, I don't know. I can't talk because I also don't know how to fix anything at a home. I mean, he had to show me how to turn on and off the hot water. I now know how to do that, but
See, and I'm one, like, if I have a problem, I Google and do a YouTube video and
you
find
can do
it.
so much with YouTube. Yeah.
I have fixed washers. I have
Yeah.
fixed dryers. I have fixed so many things.
Hmm.
But certain things make me nervous, like messing around with gas
Gas
Right.
is
and
too much.
electricity.
Yes.
And
I
electricity.
agree.
It's like, okay, either I'm going to probably end up blowing something up or electrocuting myself. So I don't mess with it.
No, I don't mess with anything that's gas or electrical. Now, my husband will mess with both, but he knows what he's doing. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I don't.
He says, don't use what? He says, don't use matches to leak test. Okay, was that for one of us?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
don't. Definitely never.
All right, so there's everybody's tip of the night. Okay,
No
If you
matches
take
and no
nothing else
lighters.
from here, don't use matches to leak test. Okay,
No,
there's your public. Yeah, don't. He says, do not.
Wow.
or no lighters either, because it'll blow right up in your hand.
Yeah, so there's a big no.
So
All right.
the beginning of his video
Okay.
was,
Yep.
tell me, he was
I
they
was
don't
ready.
have heat.
I was-
Not heat, but hot water.
Listen, girlfriend. I was ready to pound my head on the bathroom wall, on the bathtub wall. When I heard him say, we haven't had hot water for a week, and I was on number 3, the bath full of hot water, I just sunk underwater and blew bubbles.
Oh yeah.
It was so, I'm like, are you a week? A week. A week.
A week.
Who bathes? And here's the thing. Here's what I'd like to ask.
so
If they need a hot water tank, okay? We know Sally's selling the house, we know Sally's getting out. Jim put it out there. The money that's been put aside, and if Sally needs help, could it be used for that, do you think?
Oh,
What do you mean? I'm sorry,
I
I
see
missed
what
that part.
you mean. I see.
So-
Tell her. Yeah.
So say if Sally has to buy a new hot water tank.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, this woman has gone through how much money?
oh my gosh, well, just the pipes alone. I mean,
Yeah.
it was 30,000.
If it's an electric hot water heater, then the likelihood is the element has just burned up.
So it's going to be a cheaper fix because usually a plumber can go boom, boom, done with
That's
it.
what I was thinking. I actually was thinking it might be the element just because I've heard of that. And not that I know anything about those things, but
Right.
the elements go out quite often, right?
Yes, but if
Okay.
it's gas, it's going to be a little bit. It's probably just going to be a complete change out.
Right.
Which would be about how much,
Depends
roughly?
on the size of the hot water heater.
Well, it's about a 2,500 square foot house, probably roughly.
I don't know.
I don't know, you guys. He doesn't want to tell you a wrong amount. I mean, he's really scientific. He won't
Well, but I
ballpark.
mean, you can buy pretty much any size water.
Oh, there's
heater.
Sally, you have had no hot water for
What?
a week. Sally is here. More like
What?
15,000.
No way.
Oh,
What?
maybe for the
Maybe you mean for the pipes. You don't mean that you're going to have to pay that to fix the.
30-gallon
hot
heater.
water. Maybe that's for the
Okay,
plumbing.
so my husband just looked it up. He said a 30-gallon heater should be $400.
Okay.
Okay.
She might be talking.
Sally, if you get any sort of figure like that, you need to run it by me and let me run it by
I
Todd.
think
Like if
she's
you get
talking about
somebody.
her plumbing issues before was like 15.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
but I mean, but then she's also going to have to figure in the cost of the repairman that's going to do that for her.
right. And whatever that amount you get,
Yeah,
run it
plumbing.
by us and let me just have Todd look at it because so it was 15,000.
Oh,
Okay. All right, good. Because I hate to say that, but there are some unscrupulous repairmen who will just give you an amount that's, if they know you don't know any better.
so top dollar to actually put in a new water heater, I'm going to guesstimate 800 or less.
babe, 800?
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay.
Well, so you said a 30,000 gallon one was 400?
30-gallon.
30 gallon, 30,000. Okay, y'all, 30.
Here's the thing.
This
Here's
isn't the Biltmore. This is not the Biltmore.
Dang.
This is something. This is something.
Fell in a
Jim,
pool, Joni.
I know, for heaven's sake.
this is something Jim and Jerry would never be able to afford on their own if they were taking over that mortgage. What would they do?
So Sally says our heater is a rental. The company handles any repairs and maintenance. It's worth it. Oh, okay. So you want? Oh no, Jan is saying that. Okay.
Oh.
Mm.
So
I'm saying that if you know what I mean, Jerry and Jim, they wouldn't be able to afford things like this.
It'd be
Things
SOL.
things would start going downhill, and the house would start going to hell.
Yeah, they'd be totally SOL.
Beverly
Yeah.
says we were charged $1,800 to replace our hot water heater last summer. So, honey, is that where they're paying also for the person to repair it, to put it in? Because
Yeah.
okay, I mean because the person's going to get their money. You know what I mean? They are going to charge for labor.
Yeah, I'll send-
Do you have an aquarium, Joni?
Okay, I'll send my charge them $100 for a $400 water heater. But you're going to pay a markup, generally 30%. But yeah, you're right. There are unscrupulous people who may say, okay, if you don't know any better, I'm going to get you.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, that happens, unfortunately, quite often, you guys, where, we have some friends that lived, across town and they would ask Todd, they would say, is this anywhere near, remember Joel and Cheryl would say, is this a good price? And he was like, that's insane. And I can't even remember what these various different repairs are. So it's worth it to ask someone.
I mean, I would get several quotes.
Yeah,
for
get
sure.
several quotes, especially
I
if
mean,
it's
Dirty and
expensive.
Julie were putting in a sliding door and they wanted like $5,000.
Yeah.
That's just crazy talk.
Yeah. So you can, get several quotes, especially if it's, yeah.
I was like, they're going to put in 2 doors. It's going to be like $12,000.
Yeah. So
Did Sally answer that question? Have they been without for a whole week without hot water?
No, she hasn't answered that yet. Sally, if you can, have you gone the whole week? And Marianne, I know about the dishes and the laundry. The dishes, I mean, honestly, with any brand, you can get a big old pot and you could boil it on the stove, put one side of sink with warm water, rinse them, and where there's a will, there's a way. Jim is what is he? A verdict? The Nordic? What is he called?
the Nordic thing.
The Nordic would.
Yeah.
You've gone without hot water for a week,
Okay.
and they check the pilot to make sure the pilot is lit? Or is there
Did you check the breaker?
right? The breaker could blow. Ours has done
Oh
that.
Lord, if it was the breaker, wow. Can we?
I mean, the electric is going to be a 30 amp breaker, and it's going to be pretty obvious.
Did y'all hear that? So if it's a 30 amp breaker, if it's a
Yeah, it's gonna
electric,
be pretty hot. Yeah.
yeah. I do use cold water to do some laundry, Betty. So like my linens, I use hot, very hot, like a sterilizing feature thing, really hot water. But for some clothing, I do use cold.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, like Dee said, you could fill a sink with some boil, some hot water.
Because in Puerto Rico, a lot of homes in Puerto Rico do not have hot water at all.
Mm-hmm.
Some in Texas, too, I believe.
You see that Linda Wrench is saying Jim said they want to turn Sally's part of the house into an Airbnb or rent to college
With
students.
college students.
This is, I mean, you guys,
Well, so
and
okay.
those parents, I'm telling you right now, even if college students aren't worldly enough, those parents are going to jump all over Jim the minute something goes wrong in that house. Like, let's say this is a scenario. Let's say these college kids have moved in and they're now there with no water for a week. A mama and a dad are going to be like, excuse me, what? My daughter doesn't have hot water. She doesn't have what? And that's just, so no. I mean, you have to take care of those things monetarily and physically. Well, stop it.
Once
Sorry.
again, I haven't watched his newest. I just caught up over on Discord that he was on, and you guys were talking and everything, and then Dee went on. Am I under the correct assumption that they think they're going to be remaining in that house?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
what gives them that idea?
Well, he did come out and admit that Sally is moving, and I guess she's moving in like 3 months, like the spring or something. I think I'm not 100% sure. Um, and that they are going to try to keep the home and see if they can afford it and swing it off. Then he was talking about other things like other type of get a mortgage for something else, or this or that, $100,000. You are not going to qualify for a mortgage for $100,000.
Well,
Remember when they wanted to
that
keep
house is
RV?
worth more than 100,000.
Oh yeah, but
What is
remember
that
when
even? What does that even pertain to?
other houses, if they can't get moms. But remember when he
Oh, I get it. Okay.
remember when he was like into that RV thing and he was saying to everybody how there was an RV and they were having a special and it was going to be so cheap. They couldn't get approved for that without Sally's co-signing. What
Hey,
makes
you
you think?
guys, Sally, if you will send a picture, I've texted you before. So if you will send a picture of your hot water heater, Todd will tell you if he thinks your pilot is out. So
I'll tell you how to check.
or he'll tell you how to check. So we can take you through doing that. And it'd be simple for her to do, right?
It depends
Fairly.
on where the hot water heater is.
Depending on where the hot water heater is. But this is something where you might.
And I'll be able to tell whether it's gas or not by looking at it.
Yeah, he can tell if it's gas or not by looking at the hot water heater. But I mean, if there's a chance to fix it just like that by lighting the then and not have to pay.
If it doesn't have a little silver chimney coming out the top, it's not gas.
Okay.
All gas water heaters are vented.
So if you'll get in touch with me, we will at least do that part, where you can know.
Oh, she says it's an electric water heater.
Okay, so it is.
Okay. Well, then first thing to
It
check
could be a fuse.
Yeah, go check your circuit breaker. See if one of the double breakers is tripped.
The double
Even if it's not listed, it's saying water heater. It's going
You
to
could
be.
feel them though. You could always feel them and see if they're tripped. You know what I mean? They're like loose and click it back in.
But the double ones, look like doubles, and it will, it should be pretty obvious.
So
Right.
turn it off,
And
all the way off, and then turn it back on.
Yeah, turn it
Because
off.
if it's tripped and you turn it on, it's not going to work. You got to turn it off first.
Which he had to teach me that. I didn't know that. I thought you could just,
Turn
yeah.
it back on.
Betty says, Todd, maybe it needs to be bled. Ooh, what's that mean? Like the
Letting some water out, like or something.
Like if it's
Like
vapor lock or
steam?
something.
He's
don't
saying
know.
like vapor. Do you mean like vapor logged, Betty?
Lock.
Or locked? Okay. Don't think it's a circuit, Sally says.
Did Jim check?
But you got to check. You
Yeah.
might not think it is, but you have to. If you at least go through all the steps and just check these things, then you
Hmm.
can rule that stuff out, and you know more what to tell whoever it is that you may have to call.
Yeah. And like I said, if you want to send a picture, he'll try to help you how he can. You've already answered that it's an electric, so we know that. But yeah, or even if you go down and look at I say go down, we're used to going down to our basement. But if you look at the breaker box and you're unsure, he can, also tell you there. But you'll probably know on that, Sally. Sally's a smart cookie. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah. But these are things that, yeah, you don't want to be a
Please don't
homeowner.
ask Jim to do it. You're gonna. This is unfortunately something you're gonna have to do yourself, Sally.
Yeah.
Don't ask Jim to do it.
And then he also said that, they had a family talk, which that's great because I believe they should. Which I mean, it's three people living together. You would think a family talk happens often. Um,
Mm.
but he said that Jerry made him see the light. What? No, Jerry's the one telling you this is our forever home, blah, blah, blah. And then Jim started out with, well, we always thought this was our forever home. This is where we're going to pass away with, so on and so forth. That's not true, Jim. You've been wanting to move. You wanted to move to Colorado. So please don't. Don't go with what Jerry says.
So, what does he
Colorado.
mean by he saw the light? I
Well, basically, he realizes his mom is moving.
oh
So I guess Jerry convinced him of that, maybe, but they still plan on converting that home.
okay. I
I
mean,
don't get
if
it.
they want to live in this continual thing of denial, then I mean, that's their choice. But
Yeah, it's going to just hit them that
they
much.
need to get with reality at some point in their lives. Period.
Right,
They've got to come to the realization that you can't do this.
Right.
You
no,
don't have the money. You don't have. You just don't have things.
right. It's just it
You
just
don't
blows my
have.
mind.
They just don't have what they need to finance anything. I mean anything. You
Yeah.
know,
There's no
it's
sense in getting worried about them being landlords because they're not going to be owners. I mean,
no.
that's just realistic. I mean,
She's destroyed any possible credit extent, anything,
right.
any avenue for credit. She's destroyed it. There's a judgment on your record. It's going to come up first,
Well, Jim has
and
no income right now, okay, at all.
that too. Yeah.
And then Jerry's got her Social Security, which I think she said it's a
Well,
little over 900 a
I
month.
guess he could claim his YouTube channel though income.
Good luck.
Yeah. I
Well,
mean,
I'm just saying. I mean, if you wanted to try and claim any type of income, and that kind of thing, he could claim that. But that's the only thing he could possibly show because the bank is not going to take into consideration. Oh, you're waiting on your disability to kick in. Oh, well, we'll factor that in. No, that's
no, they don't care about that. Yeah.
No.
it won't happen. Hi, Mona.
Even with good credit, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't. No, they don't.
No. Yeah, let's just factor that right in here. That oh, he might get disability. Well,
Yeah.
You could
no.
go
Hi,
online.
Penny.
Hi.
They could see if they're approved for a loan just by going online.
Right.
It's so easy to do nowadays.
Hmm. Oh, you can do all. Yeah, almost all of that.
What
I
you
don't.
qualify for, how
True.
much you qualify for, what banks are willing to offer you. I don't understand.
Y'all, when we bought our house, the only time I remember going in person to do anything was when we signed the papers and got the keys. It was
Right.
all done, you know what I mean? Like with Google Docs where you sign with, I mean, it was all
Yep.
very official and there was tons of paperwork and it was very invasive. You know what I mean? It was lots of stuff, but it was
Hmm.
all done online. with the exception of the day that we went to go get the pictures, or you know what I mean. They take a picture
Yeah.
of you with your new key and your new, that was it.
I wonder if Jim's gone down for his Social Security yet. Hi,
um,
Willow.
Hey, Willow.
that's
Linda
a
said there's a
really good
6 month waiting
question.
period.
That's a good question, Dee, because it wasn't that what a lot of things. Well, he was supposed to do this week, but a
One of
lot
the
of
things. Yeah.
we're hinging on that he get down there and talk to him,
Ooh,
or at least start the process. I don't even know if he started, to tell you the truth.
I guess that he didn't have all the paperwork in, and Jerry said they knew
Oh,
that they filled all the paperwork out, blah, blah, blah.
mm,
Remember, Jerry doesn't like that she had to pay that attorney because the attorney did nothing for her. Remember that?
she had to pay an attorney.
Yeah, because she was denied the first time.
You can appeal it yourself.
She paid an attorney.
Oh,
And she said her sister-in-law did most of the work, though, and that the attorney was still taking money. The attorney takes the money out of the lump sum that you get from the first thing. So she's blowing smoke up someone else's butt.
mm-hmm.
Before Jerry would have got her check, the attorney would have took the money out, and then she would have got a check.
Wow. So I don't know if it's the same with that kind of attorney as it is with one of the ones that you know the ones that are like injury lawyers where they only take a percentage.
Right. What happens, my cousin's an attorney down in Florida, and when someone gets Social Security, SSI, SSDI, whatever it is, and they have a waiting period, well, the lawyer gets their percentage, so the
Mhm.
Social Security mails them the check, and then the
Oh, okay.
law firm mails the uh, recipient the
Hmm.
check.
So it is the same as an accident injury lawyer.
Yes.
Yeah, and they don't get paid for sure until the end. Like, and that's
Right.
how they decide. That's why they're picky about whether or not they'll take you on as a client, because of the three different places that I interviewed with. It was all done over the phone, but all three of them wanted to know that they had in their world. Think about it; they do lots of these cases, so they knew the questions, and all of their questions were pretty much the same version of the same sentence. You know what I mean? They were all pretty much wanting to know the same thing, like how much documentation do you have, that kind of thing. But all of them mentioned that they get paid at the end, and they wanted to know all this stuff ahead of time to know, in a nutshell, that they're not working for nothing. In other words, they want to have a pretty good idea with how you match up in their past. So if Jim went to an attorney's office, I can almost tell you as quickly as he would get denied for a mortgage, they would say the same thing about representing him, because unfortunately he doesn't have documentation. You know what I
Right.
mean? He just doesn't have that. That's the main thing that they're looking for. How often have you gone to a doctor regularly? Because that's part of how you're able to show that your condition isn't getting any better. If you're only sporadically going and you only go right at the very, when, you know what I mean, right before you apply, that just
Mhm.
doesn't, it looks deceitful,
Right.
because
Um,
it looks like you're doctor shopping. And so
wasn't he just feeling better the other week though?
he did.
Yes.
And
And
he's,
now he's saying first he said his diabetes, and that I almost drowned myself on that one. Diabetes does not make you disabled. Okay? It
yeah,
does not make you a disabled individual. I'm sorry. He's
yeah.
on metformin, okay? And then Fiona's mom says, didn't Jay say they messed up the amount? Yes. She said that she was overpaid and owed her attorney more. No, that attorney wouldn't be able to do nothing at that point. She would not owe her attorney any more money because he took the settlement.
Right. Yeah.
Mm, mm, mm. But she's always got, so with her 900 and something dollars, okay? She pays the electric. I'm sure she pays her, what do you call that for her van? The insurance. There's no car payment. She says she pays the internet, yet Queen, who has what is it they what do they have? These people have T-Mobile. Queen has T-Mobile and says on her T-Mobile bill, it's her cell phones and her internet. So which means most likely the internet is also on the phone bill what Sally pays. But let's just she gives Sally $50 a month for that, okay? Where does all the 900 and something dollars go then?
It doesn't go to Sally. I mean, we know
Does it
she's
go to
not.
rent?
Yeah.
Doesn't.
And it doesn't go
You know,
to the utilities either because they're getting assistance with.
exactly.
It goes to Timu.
Oh boy.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean,
Jerry
think about it,
doesn't pay the internet. So I just do want to let you know, Sally, that Jim does think that Jerry pays for the internet because he has said that. So Jerry must tell him that she pays for that internet.
Sally, is your internet through T-Mobile as well as all of it combined, the cell phones and the internet? Is that all in one? Just curious.
Yeah, because Queen says hers is all together because
I
she
mean, they
has
could
the
have a whole
T-Mobile.
separate company for the internet, you know.
Yeah.
But
The thing is, I've pointed out she used to pay for it. See? So where is Jerry's money going then? It's not fair.
well, I mean, at the end of the month or however they figure it, I mean, she, they're always crying poverty that they don't even have money for gas and things like that.
Oh, and
so
she remember
Sally's
she
paying
paid.
credit cards, so that's what she's doing with it to pay her credit cards. I mean, I
So
think
it's the phone, the internet, and their watches. They don't leave the house. They do not need any type of service
Oh,
on those
okay.
watches.
So yes, the yes is meaning that it's the phone.
Internet
Okay,
and their
all
watches.
free. I
Yes, ma'am.
okay, okay.
But see, Sally's paying for that. Sally's paying for the
Right.
watches,
And
and then she's paying for the cell phone fee on the watches. Why
they
do you
make
need a cell phone fee on the watch? Jerry? I mean, you can't answer the phone; it's attached to you all the time playing that game. You can't just answer that. You got to be able to answer the phone. Come on,
yes, they're so productive with those watches.
yeah.
Good.
I mean, you pay another fee, you guys. I'm almost positive if you are able to answer your phone on the watch.
Let
I
me ask
think I could
you.
be wrong.
He was just on. Did he have his watch on?
No,
I
he
don't
never wears his watch. He never wears his
So
watch.
so it's basically a paperweight.
Yes.
Correct.
Then what the hell do you need that service for?
Yeah. Well, or why did you even need it? Sell it. Sell it. Get a couple $100, give it to your mom. It's something.
And I'm not sure what credit cards they have that they pay. Maybe they still pay that. What do you call that thing? Where did they get their bills all
Oh,
put in?
the
Debt
uh
consolidation.
yes, yes.
Amen, Marianne. People with no job should not have Apple Watches. It should just be a rule, okay? It's a rule. I mean, it's a rule. All right? We're going to pass that with Congress because it's not okay.
And listen, I couldn't when I purchased my phone, right? And this was a while ago. I still only have the 12 Pro. When I purchased it, I purchased an older watch because what I don't need the top of the line things.
Right.
And I don't
Well,
need it.
like
Like,
I
if you
said,
leave my phone behind, I don't use my watch. Like, no, it
mhm,
says phone left behind.
yeah. But remember, Mona showed us that tablet she got recently. She said it
Yeah.
works just like an iPad. She got that watch. She said it does everything that the Apple Watch does. Seriously, who are you keeping up with, Jerry? Because I mean, it just is. It's to me. I can fine if you win a game on your little. I mean, and you get a credit and you get a $4 Apple Watch or something, or their version, fine. But to expect Sally to pay for that Apple Watch, it just I thought back then, you guys, I've told you that before, that she sentenced Jim to making the payments for it, which I thought was reprehensible as it was. But
Hmm.
no, she sentenced Sally to doing it, which I didn't even I still give her more credit than she deserves. Like this, I didn't know she lied to her own husband about paying the internet. Hey, Anita.
Rachel, that question she asked, Sally's going to have to answer one, but I know where you heard that from, Rachel. You heard it from Jim himself. It was on one
I've
of
never
Jim's
heard that.
lives. Yeah, it was on one of.
Yeah. It
No,
was
are you
Sherian's live. He
serious? Is
said that
she?
she had to tell them that Sally gave them gave her $40 a month. She goes, and don't worry, we add Sally's $40 a month into our
Yeah.
whatever she gets, food stamp,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah. It came from them. I do know
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
So,
Seriously, y'all. So I never heard that Sally's paying her for it. That just hurts to even hear that they would accept that money. That they would. I mean,
she can make her own Walmart orders and have them delivered and just bypass their BS that they buy as far as
yes,
food. You know, go
it's
ahead.
super easy. It's a
Y'all
yeah,
live it up on your EBT and, buy whatever shit that it is that you want to eat for the day. We know how they eat. So, yeah, go ahead. And Sally could just make her own little order and diet and go with that and not even give them that $40 for what? I mean, really for what?
right. And Rachel's so right. It's awful because they pay for the food, and two, how much does she even eat? Sally doesn't even eat that much, but regardless, if Sally had a huge appetite, that's the very least that Jerry could spend her $900 towards. And I agree with Chatty that, of course, money goes quickly, you guys. You just turn around and all of a sudden you're like,
Yeah.
where did it go? And that's when you're being responsible with it, you guys.
Yeah.
That's being responsible. But still, you would think that would still have a paramount place in their hearts, that they would say, okay, regardless, it does not matter. We pay for mom to eat no matter what. While we're
But
sitting
Sally
paying
pays.
nothing. But Sally pays them $40.
Even when they go out, it's usually Sally who's buying the stuff when they go out.
And that's
Like,
been the
oh,
case for years, you
mom
guys.
bought
Well, I
it.
think that's come to a stop too. If
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken, that there's no more eating out. I mean, I think the last time she just kind of as a nice gesture, she brought home some donuts when she went out with
Sure.
her friends, which was just a sweet gesture.
Of
But
course.
as far as asking them, hey, what do you say we buy some takeout? I don't believe she's going that route anymore. Or
And
maybe.
here, Fiona's mom said $900 doesn't go far. And I agree, $900 does not go far. But when they don't have the bills, so say their bills are $400, there's $500 left over a month, divided into weeks. That's what you should be spending weekly, not on shopping, on things that are needed.
I have never seen her pup so up close. What a gorgeous animal. Oh, she is
Oh,
beautiful, Fiona's mom. Yeah,
Amen,
and I
Tammy.
misspoke, you guys. I said Chatty. I meant Fiona's mom mentioned that about the 900 goes fast, and you're right. I have it's late to put it up. It's like a week old, but I'm going to do a Walmart haul, and it was shocking to me. I guess it is to most of us what little I got for $125. I really, you guys, $125, and I actually got quite a little amount, but I did buy a couple things like mums. Those are not have to haves. Those are things that I chose to get, three of them that you don't have to have. And they're obviously the things that you pare back on when you can't afford things. And it's just offensive to people to look at her arm and see that latest. It's not the latest. There's now one, newer, or probably two newer, but still, she had to have the very top of the line, the big one, the one with all,
Right.
it's just offensive because people get out there and work, and she's taking from every government handout there is. And then they have the audacity to tell us it's not our business. It is our business.
You
It's
put
our
it out there.
business.
They
Yeah.
put it out there. Nobody does it for them.
And the gas cards are they're eating out. Rena, we can't prove it that she used that gas card that day, but I
Oh,
really
I
think
think so.
I really think we're right because she didn't go to the appointment. They made sure to stop at the gas station. She got caught lying about the appointment and first said it was, what did she say, Diane? At first it
First,
was,
it was Jim was grumpy. The dog,
and the
the dog
dog.
was whiny.
and
But
then it
then it
became
went to
van trouble.
then it went to the van was having problems. That was probably, oh,
Mhm.
can you help me? Maybe we need donations for this? Well, number one, where's your mics that you were given money for? Number two, you have stage 4 cancer. The Cancer Society will bring you back and forth to your doctor's appointments. They will take you even
Right.
to your trial. They will take you to trial. The trial medications. She don't need Jim. Jim can stay home with the dog. She
Yeah.
could do this.
Sally is really, you guys, she's doing so well. She really is. I think she's got her fire, her spirit back. And, we said the other day, Mona helped us realize that, once again, how hard it must be to be in her situation. So to keep making progress the way she is awesome. It was good to hear tonight, Finny. There was no more denial from Jim about Sally moving. He 100% said, Mom is moving. So that was good to hear. I wish we had seen even just a smidge. Well, there was a smidge. He did say, because I want to be fair, you guys, he did say the worst that could happen, and I didn't listen to all of it. I left. I started getting frustrated. But he did say the worst case scenario, they might have to move to a smaller place. And then he went right into
Buying a smaller place.
buying a HUD home and how that might not be ideal or something. That's my word. He didn't say ideal, but, and then it just went again. And I mean, he even mentioned that sometimes living in fantasy. I can't remember what he said about that. And you guys, Fenna said earlier, she was like, I have ideas. We all have ideas. We all have dreams. What she means by that is, sure, but that doesn't mean, I mean, it just to be 50. And one other thing he said that I should mention, he said it's time to cut the apron strings.
Yep, he did say that.
That
Ben
was
said it should have happened a long time ago.
yes, he did say that. So again, I want to be fair to him. So that was another statement that was good to hear. It makes me just that much more sure that if Jerry wasn't just so oppressive and so didn't lord over him the way he does. I mean, I really agree with Mona that, he has wanted to move. We saw that with Colorado. I realize moving across town isn't Colorado, but Jim would I am confident that Jim would be excited if Jerry would just stop being Jerry, which will never happen. But
I still think he's living in fantasy land, truthfully.
oh, he admitted it today. He said sometimes, I can't remember the sentence, how it went for fantasy land, but it's a shame, that they both cling to that so much, because that's something I got wrong. I mean, I'm not a psychologist. I thought that Jerry would be in total self-preservation mode. And this was I've known now for a couple of months that she's not, because she's just not moving. Mona has helped me understand that that's not how it works. That she's not going to, she 100%, is that right, Mona, still believes that she's not moving, right? Like no matter what, she doesn't believe she's moving.
Yeah.
But I would have thought that she would be thinking, at least, maybe she's not admitting it to Jim or to Sally, obviously, but maybe she would be, I would think she would be checking out storage facilities and calling and trying to find out which apartment she might get, just in case, so that she doesn't end up in a hotel that we have now confirmed they can't even afford for an entire month. So
They need to get on. They need to contact Section 8. That would be their fallback no matter what. This
yes,
should have been done months ago when Sally told them months ago.
right.
They're already
going to, though. They're
I'm
not
sorry,
going to.
Mom, what?
They're not going to until people are there to make them leave.
Gosh, that's crazy.
Well, I mean, but they're already in the system. That's the thing. They're already
But
in
that
the
doesn't matter
system.
to her, though.
I know,
That
but I
doesn't.
mean, that's what makes it easier, though, because
Oh,
they're
so
already
it's like their names are.
in the system with the EBT. That's through the
Oh, different. That's
Health
totally
and
different.
Human Services Department of Missouri. Okay, they're the ones that handle all that. They handle Medicaid. They handle the EBT. They handle WIC for the children and that kind of thing. They handle the housing situations. It's the Missouri Department of Health and Human Services. It's all under one roof. And so
Okay.
all you would do would be contact your caseworker, because everybody gets signed a caseworker. She can't say that she doesn't have one. Everyone has a caseworker that,
She always says she
keeps
doesn't
track.
have one.
Well, she's full of shit.
And
But she does.
she says she can't get her
Because
bandages paid for
there's
and all her exceptions, which
there's
isn't true. Yeah.
but there's that person that is, that is assigned her case, that has to, ever so often, whether it's every 6 months or however long it is that they require that you qualify, okay? Because they're going to review it. Let me tell you, none of these states want to pay if they don't have to. So at least every 6 months, they're reviewing everyone's case and saying, have there been any changes? Have
Okay.
you, is Jim working? Is he making this much money? What's your income? What's your bank statement? They
Sure.
want to see it all. That's the thing. So if she's already in there and she's qualified for what she already is, Medicaid and EBT, she just needs to tell them the current situation, remind them that she's a stage 4 cancer patient, and say, we're going to be out on the street. Can you help us out?
I
Right.
do have to ask if anyone could look this up. I believe Missouri is a right to work state.
It
They
is.
are. They
I know
are.
Okay.
that for a
So
fact.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jim doesn't qualify for any of it. That's why they want him on Social Security.
The, uh,
Explain that. What do you mean? So
well,
Okay.
he got knocked out of unemployment because of that.
because he didn't, right? Because
He
he
got knocked out of unemployment because he actually was fired for something he really
True,
did.
but he
right.
also got knocked out because, you see, when it's a right to work state, the employer can fire you for any
Any
reason they
reason.
see
Right.
fit.
Yep.
That's what it boils down to with right to work.
100%.
Well, he
All right.
doesn't qualify for food stamps. He probably did during the pandemic because
Hmm.
at that point, everyone was qualifying for everything.
Yeah.
Sure. Right.
With a right to work state and you don't have a child and you don't get Social Security, you don't get food. Jim don't get food stamps then. They're just for
No.
Jerry.
Right.
Well, and remember, they had that much larger amount before, and Finney was one of the first
Right.
ones
And
to
that's
tell us
pandemic.
that's going to be changing. I remember you said that, Finney. You said, they're going to get hit
Well,
by that.
during the pandemic, I think they were giving everybody an
Everybody and any, yeah, I think they
extra.
did.
I wouldn't know how much, but I mean, it was an extra. It wasn't it
Right.
wasn't just a little, $20 or $50 or something. It was in the hundreds.
No, because
And
I used to see
so,
people at Walmart with carts and carts. I'm like, how do they afford all that?
Right.
because that for each person, and then each person was getting that stipulation as well. So I mean, their little EBT sums were quite hefty, but
Hmm.
that all got taken away once they deemed that okay, COVID's over. Okay,
Right.
we're not gonna keep putting this out. So that so it went back to a standard set amount that you would get based on what you're qualified for the income that's coming into the house and the
Sure.
bills and how they figure it and everything. So it's just back to a standard amount that they're getting, but it's still it doesn't matter. It's still something. All right,
Right.
it's
Right. I
something
mean,
that you don't have to pay for because the government is.
hmm yeah. And if you remember their grocery hauls, they were, I mean,
Huge.
they were massive. I mean, and quite
Yeah.
opulent. I mean, she was showing filet mignon, 16 things of ice cream. Ice cream isn't cheap, you guys. And I
You
will
know
never
those
forget that one
pints,
day when I was like, wow, I'm not buying steaks.
Well,
those
I just don't.
pints that
I used to
because
think, wow, she must make pretty good money on her YouTube channel, and Jim is doing good at the college.
No,
This,
it was,
prior, this was all along.
those those little pints that because that's what they got. She didn't buy
yes,
just like the half-gallon size or whatever it is
right.
now. She bought little pints of all these individual flavors.
They're
You
more
know
expensive.
that they just went on sale. Now get this. This is a sale price for this week at Albertsons. I know you guys probably don't have Albertsons, but it's one of ours. But anyways,
But I love hearing the prices. Yeah.
the sale price on those pints, get this, is $3.97.
Wow. She
Wow.
bought like
4 bucks
16 of
for
them.
one of those little things. That's a sale.
That's
Now
the sale.
Walmart, that could be their everyday price, but
I'm
still
going to look. I'm
4
going,
bucks a piece for a pint of ice cream. I mean, I don't know. Things are just way too out of control as far as
no, they
prices
really
for
are.
me, but you know,
And
seriously,
they weren't the great value, were they? Weren't they like the little Debbie brands
I
and stuff?
don't know. They were
They were
very
a name brand. I don't
I
remember
remember
what
she
they
was
were
real
though.
excited about the little Debbie brands. And you guys, that may
uh
seem like
I'll
nitpicky,
be
but
I'll
that
be
still makes a
I'll be
difference.
fair. That's Bluebell.
Okay.
Now we're huge. Well, Bluebell is Texas. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, but everybody here eats Bluebell.
Oh, they have a huge bluebell plant in the tiny little town my dad grew up in. Well,
Yeah,
just the town that's close to his, and so tons of people eat it there as well. But it's not cheap; it's good stuff.
it's
Okay, so Penny,
wonderful
you
stuff.
asked, so a little Debbie at Walmart is
Yeah.
much cheaper. So it's $2.46.
Okay.
Still,
$2.46.
that's a lot for
Times
how
But
much you
it's
16.
on a
got.
Times
rollback. It's
16.
normally $2.74, so it's a little bit of a
Okay.
rollback there.
Let's just call it 250. Let's
Okay.
just put it there. Times 16.
hmm
Whew.
Yeah. I
Okay,
mean,
well, 10 of them is $25, and another 6 is another,
so it's
what,
$40. You're spending $40.
10, 15. So, $40. Yeah,
Yeah,
$40 in ice
Just
cream
on ice cream.
alone.
just an ice cream, and that wasn't including the like the little Debbie cakes and stuff like that. I mean, that's a lot to spend on. And then I remember one thing she got that was also a really I felt like kind of an opulent thing to buy. That's not really the right word, but it's just, for instance, those little bags of chips or whatever. Those are kids take those to school, and like I buy those when we're going to the beach, and every once in a while I'll buy them. But you know what I mean? It's like the fun size bags of a variety of chips.
Yeah.
Those are not cheap, you guys. I'm going to look that up for you as well, because I remember before we went to the beach, I was like, good Lord, they were like $20 or something like that for that. It's just not the cheapest way to do it. Now, if you want variety, fine. But our point in pointing this out, you guys, is just that you get it. I mean,
But she doesn't buy fresh fruits and vegetables
right. Yeah.
because it's too expensive.
Well, and
Well,
those take spoons to, yeah.
Aldi's is not bad. I'm not
Him
kidding you.
saying that a head of lettuce is $6 or $7, he's full of crap. It
Right.
is
That
not
was
6 or
ridiculous.
7. It's $2.49 tops.
Yes, even at places like Fresh Market, you're not
It's a
paying $7 for a
$1.69
head.
at Aldi's.
You're not
Right,
paying
right.
that even
But
at
I'm
the
just
most.
saying at the high end, 250.
Right.
That's it. So it's cheaper to buy, those 2 dozen boxes of snack
hmm
cakes than it was to
Yeah.
buy a flippin' head of lettuce.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, not at all true. So that's not true. Some things are expensive. I get it. It can be expensive to buy all the different things like the produce for different meals. Like, for instance, if you want to have all the fresh herbs on hand for meals, I sometimes think that that's expensive just because if I can't use all of it before, you know what I mean? If I only need rosemary for one meal and I'm not going to use it before it goes bad, a lot of times I just won't buy it. I'll just go with the dried, just because I don't want, but so I think you can sometimes feel that we're priced out. It's not priced out of, but it's just I try to shop. I try to be economical, is what I'm saying.
Right.
And to a certain extent, everybody makes splurges and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, I do too.
And I'm by no means saying that she shouldn't, have some things she enjoys. But you're a diabetic and you're buying 16 pints of ice cream, and then you want to tell us that you're a teacher and a nutritionist. I mean, like her friend Rebecca that showed that thing, you guys. I mean, you all saw what I did. She didn't show one thing that you prepare yourself, except for the blueberries at the end. Everything was processed. And we've mentioned that before, but it's just, it baffles me. I would be embarrassed if when I show my cooking videos, I'll be the first to tell you when I'm cooking something that's not, you know what I mean, that's fattening or whatever. I'm not going to tell you, oh yeah, this isn't fattening at all. That's how I feel. I feel like we're getting gaslit. Like you're telling me that. Remember, she was quizzing everybody. Is this good or is this bad? Is this good or is this bad? Well, I'll tell you what's bad. You're not. Everything you have right there is processed. Everything. I mean, do you not make anything yourself? Here's what I got from watching her. I got that she was lazy. That's what I got. I don't mean that to be mean, but that's what I got. If you show me your entire grocery haul and nothing is something where you have to go in and actually take the spoons to make it, that's the viewpoint I get. I'm just saying that's what I get from it. You're not willing to, even your salad you had to buy premixed. You guys, I'm not hating on that. There's some very good premixed salads, but you know what I'm saying. When the entire haul is everything is made ahead of time, that just to me looked bad, because I would be like, what kind of nutritionist are you? You need to learn to get in the kitchen and make some of these things. Sally did say, you guys, that Jerry cooked today or something. Something with a pork loin.
Yeah. Well, OG, God, there's a chicken on the I think at the slow cooker too, Jim was saying.
Hmm. So
So
we had a Boston butt today, you guys. Do you want to know how long that takes to make? It takes all of 3 minutes.
would
We
you
cut
make?
a Boston butt, and
Oh,
you
okay.
literally, yeah, you literally, this one we cut in half, and we'll still have enough for tomorrow. And so it's about a $15 piece of meat. They've gone up. They used to be about 11. We cut it in half. We froze, did the freezer, whatever you call it, the vacuum pack, the other part.
Hmm.
So I'm not factoring that into the time. My husband actually made it this morning instead of me, but you got out the crock pot, cut it in half. So even if you factor in that time, sprinkled the seasoning on it, and clicked on. That was it. That's how long that took to make. So,
Right.
as far as in the kitchen making a pork loin, depending on what she's doing for it, because again, if you want to be fair, I mean, that one recipe I have with the Hawaiian glaze and stuff, that's got some more steps, but still, I mean, it's not that labor intensive. There are plenty of good meals that you can make for your family that are not that hard to do, even if you have limitations. One thing, have you guys ever noticed though that I feel like
She
we
doesn't
should have?
want to move. She doesn't want to move.
Yeah, I don't know that she's ever cared to tell us the truth, because do you remember when she'll say to us, "Go back and look at my old videos when I was a caretaker and when I was active," and we've all done that because we used to watch her, or most of
Right.
us. And if you didn't, I mean, Diane,
A caretaker
it's like, of
Yes.
who, of what, of where you
of
had
what?
Of
infection.
Jim and Sally. That she took
Yeah,
care of the whole house, and that Sally got upset and threw a baby fit because she was sick and
yeah.
couldn't do everything that she did, and then she went into her not eating mode, and she did say this.
Talk about disrespectful. But my
Wow.
point in saying that is how she will look right at the camera and say, "Oh, go watch my old videos and see where I was active and where I was a caretaker." And
No.
it's like, no, we've seen those. You weren't a caretaker. You had Jim bringing everything to you even then.
Yes.
So you obviously don't care to tell us the truth, because
No,
you're
she would sit on the couch and Jim would bring everything to her to clean,
even,
or she would say, Jim, put this here. Jim, put that there.
yeah. So my point in saying that is, I guess she's never really cared about telling us the truth. I don't know, but then she wonders why she has no credibility with people. So
Well, when you look back on the older videos, and because Sally, I mean, she's saying BS, but Jerry really did say this, I promise you. It was Sally that was leaving and going with her friend. It was Sally who was going to get her hair done. It
yeah.
was Sally doing things, but yet you're telling me that because you got cancer, Sally, you weren't taking care of her like you were supposed to and cleaning the house, that's why she got so thin? No, it's stress.
Hmm.
Stress will do that to you, and stress can kill a person.
Absolutely. And she seems to always change it to whatever fits her mode or her narrative. And it's
Right.
always got a slant towards Jerry being the victim, Jerry being done wrong. Jerry, is the odd man out. Like, she's just, the world's against her. And so, like with Sally, she's got dementia unless she needs her for a mortgage.
You know what a great example of that whole what you're talking about, how she pretty much sends the blame to Sally? The
Yes.
swatting. When they got swatted, the first
Yes.
thing she popped out and said was, "Well, it was probably my mother-in-law. You know, she has
Has
dementia. Maybe she
dementia.
thought," and she called the police. No, she didn't, because Sally actually does come out through that video and struts through the living
Asks.
room to go see what the heck is
Right.
going on.
Finny, that is a fantastic point, because what a vicious thing to blame on her.
It is.
Because if
But,
she had
but
not put the
immediately
mention
she
there, she
went
could have been in
there.
trouble. Yes.
Immediately she went there. Oh, it must be Sally's fault that the police are here. No, it was somebody playing a prank on you, which, that wasn't cool.
But
No,
This
that
kind
wasn't.
of
I
thing that
never
was
seen
going
that
on, that's
video
not
until
cool.
later on.
But still, I
but
mean,
what a
to
vicious thing to
immediately
blame
go
her
to that place that you're
for. Right.
blaming her. Yeah, what a.
Yeah, because you guys, had the dementia not been in the sentence and the police really believed that happened, they could have been like, okay, well, I need her to step out here, please. We're gonna, you know what I mean? You can get in huge trouble
Absolutely,
for,
they would have called her out,
yeah.
and they knew the number it came from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can get in really big trouble for that. And, so that tells me, Finny, you think she really thought that in her mind, or she just went with the easiest excuse, which is throwing
Easiest
Sally.
excuse.
I think it was her fallback for many things already. That it was just immediately that's where she goes, or that's what she had been doing in all those the videos. She, like Diane said, she would meet. Mom has dementia. She has
Gosh.
Mhm.
dementia. Well, we have
But
to
she
take
can sign
care of
for
her
a
because she
mortgage.
has dementia.
Right. And
Yeah.
but yet we can't name anything they've done for her. What seriously? I mean, she needed her car fixed. It sat unfixed for what, over a year,
You know
and it was
how
a
easy
simple
it is to
repair.
jump a car? You know
It's
how
so simple,
easy.
you guys.
And
Yeah,
supposedly at one point, Jim said, well, we have, what is it, AAA? Well, if
yeah.
you have that, why wouldn't you have had your mom's car jumped? Or
Oh,
maybe did Jerry not pay it and just didn't tell you, Jim?
Yeah, but how hard would it have been to get his car over close to hers and throw
Right.
on the jumper cables?
Even if you didn't have
He
jumper
probably
cables,
doesn't
go
know
buy
how to
some
do
for
that.
$15.
Yeah, he probably don't know how. You know, I mean,
oh man. Yeah, true. I really, I wish that somebody could get through to Jim. We don't really have to worry about it. Like, I don't really have to spend energy worrying about Jim becoming a landlord and that, making things worse for people that would move in, because first of all, he's not going to qualify for a mortgage for that to happen. So that's just not going to happen. I really don't need to worry about that. But I do wish that he was willing to come down to earth. It sounds like recently that he had a reality check. It's just he gets reprogrammed every day, I
Every
guess.
day.
I will say this: she
What?
must be getting tired of the reprogramming on her part. Is having to she's having to spend way more spoons than she used to. In other
what
words,
does this mean? What does this mean, hosting new neighbors?
yeah. So what did I start? I kind of signed out around then because I just was like,
There's
I
a new neighbor that has what type of doodle? Some type of a doodle.
like a golden doodle,
A
probably.
doggy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
like a golden
And the
retriever.
doodle, the whatever kind of doodle gets along with Oreo, and now
Mhm.
they can be friends and they can maybe invite them over.
Yeah.
Seriously? Really?
Well, if this were a different scenario, I think they do need friends. But for heaven's sake, I mean, you guys need to be worrying about where you're going to live. I mean,
Hurt their car.
They
Oh
didn't want
my!
to hurt their car by jumping my older one. They could have not hurt their car.
Does
Not
he
at
know
all.
how to jump a car, Sally?
No.
Okay.
Wow.
Hurt their car. I
there's
tell you
always
what,
a
I
reason.
can't tell you how many times when I was in New England, I had a truck, okay? And I can't tell you how many times I would help the girls in the office that I worked with. They'd go out and their battery'd be kaput.
Dead.
I can't tell you how many jumps I gave at that one office.
It's so easy to do.
Hmm.
It's not going to ruin your car.
No, it's
No,
not going to. I've never, I guess it could happen, but I've never, there's always a reason. Can't move the
That was
box because,
probably Jerry saying it to Jim. Oh, you might ruin our van.
yeah,
hmm.
I can't.
Wow.
All of these people aren't wrong. It's just so many people see this and see how terribly she's treated and how oppressive her living situation is. And I just, for anybody that would tattle on her, on Sally, you are a special level in my brain of evil, because this
Mhm.
woman, what she already does for two people who aren't willing to work and do things for themselves. But then to, wow. I was so disappointed, at least about the one person that we found out doing it. My God, but okay. If you feel good about that, wow. But then it takes another level of just, wow, to sit there and say, oh, how sweet Sally. Really? Okay. You notice you didn't get an answer, I don't think, it was
Mm-mm.
hard to, oh my gosh. Oh, it's so frustrating.
It's just, I mean, that's his mom. Don't listen to what your wife says. Your mother has more knowledge than what your wife has. Your wife is a scammer. She wants to do it how she wants
Your
to do it,
mom's
when she
old.
wants to do it.
Well, what
I was
other
ready to
enlightening
drown myself. I
information
really
did he bless everyone with?
am.
What other enlightening? So, well, there was the thing about the neighbors, and then what else, you guys? There were a few
Well,
new
there was
things.
the dirty
He,
dishes with grease. He because of the no hot water. Because he didn't think. Let me fill up cold water and plug the sink, boil some water, put it in the sink, let it set, add a little cold water, whatever you have to do. Wash the dishes, rinse them off, put them in the dishwasher. Like it doesn't take an Einstein.
right.
Well, I mean, I don't know why they just didn't revert back to what they did before when there was no dishwasher. Remember when there was no dishwasher, because they couldn't do dishes because there was no dishwasher,
They
they had to
complain.
eat out all the time.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
that was crazy. I
Hmm.
remember that. I
Yeah, so
remember
why
just
not just revert to your old methods of handling things, just to avoid, making any dishes. We're just going to have to eat out all the time.
yeah.
Well,
Oh,
those are days are over, aren't they? Because Sally's not willing to buy all that.
well,
mhm,
no, you know what? She needs to save her money and not.
Well, yeah.
When I tell you, I swear to you, she qualifies for SafeLink. Somebody that lives very close to the Hensons has SafeLink. Jerry
mhm,
says they don't have it there. Jerry would qualify for a free phone. Jim may not, but Jerry would. And it
mhm,
would bring your own phone. And also, I don't know if they have the Spectrum, but they have AT&T in their area. They could pay $25 a month for high speed internet. They're going to tell you when you call them, oh, it's going to be a lower speed. You're not going to go as fast. It's not true. They can't cap it.
yeah.
They just don't like people knowing with the lower income that they have this available, and it's not right.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
anybody that
think she
gets
doesn't
Social
want it
Security,
to be, because if she takes that, think about it. If she takes that deal, she won't be able to like, once if Sally gets rid of her pay, in other words, she's not able to add on things like Apple Watches and an
she don't
iPad.
need it. She
No, but
goes
she
nowhere.
wants it. I mean, she wants it. That's the thing. And so I think she doesn't want any sort of a lower level, oh, I'm on this free save. You know what I mean? She loves
Yeah.
free. But I think she's so prideful about wanting the, and she wants to be able to do things like put a new Apple Watch on, or put a new, I mean, I feel like the
Well,
iPad's, because has anybody replaced that scratched iPad? She has soft begged for that scratched iPad for months now.
Oh yeah. Oh,
It's
years. A couple of
yeah.
years.
well,
So it's
here's the thing. The thing is, okay, so let's say that some of these things go away with the internet that they currently have, that they're not any longer on that plan and they've got a lower plan. And the thing is, you learn to live within what the plan allows
Right.
because that's all you can afford. That's
right,
the thing is you're the delusion that they have that they're able to have everything they want and that they don't have to live within their means. This is the biggest thing that you they have to learn at some point in life. You have to live within your means. And if your means is nothing, then that's what you get. Nothing.
right.
And Diane, she would qualify for it because she gets Medicaid and she also gets food stamps. So she qualifies for the SafeLink and the AT&T. I've called.
And you got to ask yourself, why is she not willing to do that? And that's the only thing that makes sense to me. Because Jerry does love free, but she would much
Mhm.
rather have Sally be tethered to paying for her because she gets more benefits that way. I mean, that's just, I mean, Jerry's always going to go with where she can get more, or where she can get bigger and what she sees as better things. Even though Mona has told you, like, her tablet she got and her phone or her watch she got both do all of the same things. So, she's just, yeah.
And as far as that bariatric rollator, She has stage 4 cancer. If the Cancer Society and Medicaid won't get it, you search on Facebook Marketplace for everything. You
Mhm.
haven't searched for that? You haven't reached out to VFWs? There's so many places you could go.
Right.
She doesn't want to help herself, only sitting playing games, posting on TikTok or Instagram. Just come on, take care of your cancer.
Right.
Get mobile, make yourself feel better. You do feel better when you move. You do.
Oh my gosh, the stiffness of
It's
not
horrible.
moving, I can't imagine. And Diane, how much does a hot bath help? My husband takes one all the time
It does
because
help.
all his
Helps me
prostate
so
changes,
much.
and it also helps him with restless leg. There's lots of
Hmm.
benefits, not just getting clean. I mean,
Yay, my sound is clear. Woo, woo.
yay! Um, oh, so you do have to be getting treatment, Diane Williams. I didn't know that.
For what?
Diane said, "Sorry, I meant get help from the Cancer Institute. You have to be getting."
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I got you, Diane. Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah. Um, and Chatty's asking Sally, do you think they need the fancy Apple Watches and Apple iPads, iPhone 13, all that stuff? It just is, yeah. If I,
Do they have the iPhone 13? I thought they had different ones.
yeah.
Mm.
I mean, and how in Canada, or just, y'all, she's never been in the hospital one time for her cancer. I
No,
find that astounding.
no.
Stage 4
And with
cancer.
those pressure, what with those boo-boos that were
Boo boo.
so infected that she didn't end up. You can't tell me that they didn't say we could take much better care of you in the hospital. They'd have to get the pressure off. That's what made me think, because when I broke my neck, they had me on the bed that flipped over, like every so often I was like hanging upside down, like, and then the other way. You can't tell me they wouldn't take the pressure off some way like that.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, why didn't she go and get the wounds taken care of? Why is she not doing? It seems like the only thing she goes to take care of is her eyes, and I don't think she does that often. I read or I saw it today. I've never seen this ad. It was an ad for people that need shots for their eyes, and it said it was a relatively new shot, and it said you can hope to not need them for like 4 months or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but it was just a new commercial today, and I thought, oh, this must be like what Jerry gets, the shots in her eyes, and it's for the macular degeneration. Although I thought
Mhm.
hers was called something else because it's related to the diabetes being uncontrolled. I could be wrong, but yeah, again, it's just, oh my gosh, so many things where if I were her family member, these things alone, her just throwing her life away like that, would be reason that it would be very hard to talk to her because it would be so hard to watch.
Here, look at Fiona's mom. My wound. Wait, where'd it go? Hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to click on it. My wound damn near killed me. She should be careful with hers.
Oh my gosh, same here. I got the same thing as you, where it literally almost killed me. It almost paralyzed me, a massive staph infection in your spine. You can't play
Right.
around with that stuff. I really do think we hit on the right thing not that long ago, though, that her body may have a bit more of a, like a ability to defend itself against those nasty, things out there that, can get in the wounds like staph and all that, which is everywhere, you guys. But because she did grow up in basically a dirty home, I hate to call it that, but that's the truth. So I don't know. I can't say for sure, but it seems like that's the case because I don't know how she lays in that bed. They don't wash those sheets that often. And I'm not saying they never wash them, you guys, but you know, it's a must here once a week. And I'm telling you
Yeah.
right now, for both of them saying allergies the way they have, if I go one day beyond like 5 days, and I call that a week for the sheets, I'm telling you, I start getting the postnasal drip. And it's because of the dust mites. It doesn't matter how clean your home is, you will get dust mites on your sheets. That's just a thing. I've looked it up. I mean, everybody's going to get them. That's very different than bed bugs.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, dust mites are on everybody's bedding, and I can tell. Like I literally can tell my allergies start coming back, and that's even with using my medicine. So they're their own worst enemy when it comes to this,
And how
allergy.
often do you think they wash the curtains, wash the bedding, sweep the floor, vacuum it, dust it, mop? I mean, I don't see it happening.
Well, yesterday I did behind my husband's, and did behind. So I took the tube part of the vacuum to get the dust that's
Yeah.
in the window behind, like our bedside tables, and I
Hmm.
still was like, oh my gosh, at the amount of dust that gathers back there, and that
Yeah.
can help with allergies. I mean, you can dust
I
the
mean, I
clean.
dust my pictures on my walls.
Hmm. Oh yeah, they get a built up. Yeah, I mean, it just so, and because we have dogs in the bedroom, yeah, that happens, and so it's just clean. In other words, what I'm saying is, clean dusting the top of the end tables alone isn't enough. You have to take like
No.
the dust, the hose, and do the vents in the ceiling and stuff like that, and change your filters. How long do you
Right.
go? So I mean, I guess
I
I just
change my
think they should
filters
get
4
complaining.
to 6 times a year.
Hmm.
But I do have allergies, and the hydroxyzine is helping tremendously.
Good, good, good. Yeah. Yeah. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
better lampshades too, definitely.
oh yeah, that was one of the things I did today. And it's yeah, and again, it's shocking how much gets up under and on the fabric and stuff. It kind of sticks to them,
Yeah.
so it's just yeah.
But do you
So,
remember that fan in Jim's room? How everyone was making fun of it for the longest, and then he finally cleaned it when he was in the one room with the windows.
oh, I don't remember that, but
Yeah, his fan was just full of dirt and dust. It was
and one
yeah.
of them I did today. We have a fan on the floor. It's this big metal fan that I love the sound of it. And I went to use the vacuum, the same hose with it, and it wouldn't get the hair on it. And it just was a little bit that was inside it. And so I figured out how to like take the little, you can unclip it and get inside it and just wipe it out manually with a, you know what I mean, with a dust cloth and some
Right.
cleaner or whatever. So there's a way to do these things. And that's not something I have to do every week, but
Right.
it does. I mean, you can't really complain about allergies when you're not willing to get rid of a lot of that stuff that is going to irritate you. It just is. I mean, pet dander, all that stuff gets in, so I mean, I think Jim said he's allergic to pet dander. I don't remember, you guys. I mean,
And he still wants to get a cat, even though his mom's leaving. He wants a black cat.
oh man. As much as I want animals, you guys, because they need homes to go to homes, I feel like that dog, it's a disaster waiting to happen. I
Yeah.
really do. I feel like there's going to be a big, scary accident.
The dog's just
Somebody
not
said,
trained properly.
somebody said in the, I think in the chat or somewhere, I thought I saw somebody say that already making an excuse to not change the litter box very often. And, I didn't hear that part I had left,
I
but
do mine twice a day. I do
I don't
have
like
3
that, so
cats,
I don't know
but I do
how.
it twice a day.
Well, I would assume you'd have to do it at least daily because it would smell. I don't know, you guys. I don't own cats, but I would think it wouldn't smell good. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
you have to do it minimum once a day. I
Okay.
mean, that's a minimum.
Minimum. Yeah, I do it morning and night.
Hmm.
And so by doing that, that just keeps the smell at bay because you're just making sure it's cleaned out and
My sister always comes in and she always says, "You would never could tell you had cats." I go, "Why do you always say that?" She goes to a couple people's homes. They have cats, but she said you could just smell like the urine I'm like,
uh,
"No, then you're not coming to my house smelling that."
Well, I
well,
mean,
that's
and
one of the best compliments.
it does make a difference, like the kind of litter and stuff that you use. I mean, whether it's just the really cheap stuff or a little bit better stuff that'll trap some of the odors and everything. But even then, you've got to clean it every day, and
Every
then
day.
especially when you have multiple cats.
I want one fetid too. I want one of those robot cat litter boxes. They're expensive.
What is it?
Yes,
It's like a
they
robot.
are.
The robot cat litter box they're up
So
between
is
like
that.
3.99 and 500.
So
Oh
is
my wow,
that
wow.
pretty litter. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
I
That
haven't
pretty
tried it. Did
litter.
you?
Uh-uh. Uh-uh.
Okay. It's
It's
expensive.
expensive.
I
Yes.
use baking soda too, Sally, in the bottom of my litter box, and then I put the litter in, and then you know
Mhm.
what I mean. After I scoop it, it comes up. I have no odors whatsoever.
Right. Yeah, baking soda does wonders.
Hmm. And they even have like the cat, like you know what you used to put on your carpet. They have it in cat form too, and then they have little they're like plastic. They look not plastic. They're like little wax melts that you put in the litter too.
I haven't seen those.
Oh yeah, right at Walmart.
Like
Yeah.
deodorizer thingies.
Yeah, they smell like they're like it looks like it would be a wax melt. It's just a good size one. And
Mhm.
the one that I got one time, it smells like fresh linen, and I could actually smell it. I'm like, this is great.
Oh,
That's cool.
nice.
That's
I
cool.
love the fresh linen smell.
Yeah, so do I. Or men's cologne.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, so I mean, I didn't I was gonna play his video, but I think everybody that's in here they saw it,
Yeah.
and it's just like
Yeah, and you
I'm
guys
not
told
kidding
me
you,
enough. I didn't see it, but y'all told me enough.
Yeah.
Vinny.
That's what I usually do is get updates.
I got the notification while I was in the tub soaking. I had just added the third round of hot water, and it's James Henson is live. I turn it on. I'm not kidding you when I tell you I wanted to bang my head on the shower wall. And then when he said something else, I just put my head under the water and just was blowing bubbles. I wanted to drown myself.
Now, what part made you that like brought you to that point? Because there's, I mean, like, what was that? You know,
The we have well, he started about the hot water and stuff, and for a week, and we have the greasy dishes, and I'm just like, does he not know he can warm water? Like someone just said, you can warm water up even in the microwave and put it in your sink and do dishes. Like, where is the common sense?
Uh,
maybe
it
Jerry.
left the building a long time ago, apparently.
I think
Well, he's got a
I think he
teacher.
just, it's all he can do to keep himself sane around Jerry. I'm not saying that to stick up for him, but I cannot imagine being at her beck and call every 5 minutes, literally not being
Yeah.
able to leave the room without every 5 minutes. I would lose it. I
Well, and
seriously,
from kind of what we understand is that it's gotten increasingly worse as all this has gone on, and she's going to
okay,
of course say, oh, it's my disease, it's because I'm a cancer patient
right,
and I need him to do all these things now that I didn't need him to do before.
right.
I mean, but you don't need him there at your side, at your beck and call 24/7. There's got to be some time where he walks away, does his own thing, and you can get by on your own. Because if there's not, then
Mhm.
then that says to me that you're that much of an invalid that you need to be facilitated.
Yes.
So
Right.
let him go. Let
Well,
the man go.
and they have said, that she would, if she really, I mean, her rollator alone, Finney, don't you think, or Mona, could you answer that about your mom, with what they would give her for her illness? Diane brought that up years ago, I think, where, if she needed a rollator, they would have prescribed her one.
Right.
They
Oh
would.
yeah, they do all that.
Isn't that true? So, I mean,
And they
again,
measure you. You go to the you go to the it's like a hospital. It's like not a hospital, but it's a medical shop. You go to a medical shop, they measure you to see exactly what one you need. That's why the one she had didn't support her. It wasn't a bariatric one.
yeah.
Her rollator was not bariatric. I think she said it was her dad's or someone's.
Right.
Well, see, I mean, yet another sign, like we look at her eyes and we're like, if you're legally, almost blind, why are you wearing readers? And why are you, you
It,
know,
Yeah, you would think that
exactly. You're
eye doctor
legally
would have
blind.
given you a prescription for eyeglasses.
My father was legally blind.
at the very
Legally
least, yeah.
blind. And he had the thickest glasses with trifocals. But Jerry Ann just wears readers? No. And doesn't get her license taken away.
Well, I mean, what's wrong with this eye doctor if he hasn't given her prescription for glasses? I mean, you know, what? Why? Why? Why hasn't he said, well, you're going to need to wear glasses just so you can function or something?
I never looked it up. What does she have? The
Macular degeneration, I think. And
okay.
she's had those shots in her eyes. That
Okay.
is true.
Can anybody like Feta or somebody look that up? Does that mean that you're legally blind and that you need eyeglasses? And if so, then I don't get it.
And is that the one that is exacerbated by diabetes not being out of control? Because when I saw that
That
commercial,
one's diabetic. That is diabetic.
okay, but it's
Well,
not always diabetic. Todd said.
there's a picture of her reading. I believe it was from the picture that newspaper that interviewed her took, and she's sitting there, you know, with a little magnifying glass, reading some hate mail. But she needed her readers and a magnifying glass to read it. So whether it's this macular degeneration or not, that would tell me if you need something like that to read that you're terribly nearsighted, because the nearsighted is when you can't see, like the fine print and little things, and you've got to enlarge it. So, and so you can focus on it. So, why hasn't that also been diagnosed? I just don't understand.
See
I
what
don't.
Amy said? Jerry said she can't get prescription glasses because her eyes change multiple times a day. What? I mean, how?
That's not true. That's not true for anybody.
My husband's laughing.
Where is that comment?
Amy says, Amy Tony says, Jerry said she can't get prescription glasses because her eyes change multiple times a day. And Amy, I mean, if Amy said she said that, I believe it. I didn't hear her
Yeah,
say
Amy's good.
No, I
that.
believe
Amy's
she
good.
said
Like,
it. Yeah.
Amy's like, get back here. Hold on. You're not saying that and that not get reported because that's what?
Thank you, Rachel, for looking that up. But could they also not be legally blind and just have it as well? You see what I'm saying? Because it's odd that she doesn't need glasses.
Oh, listen what Diane Williams said. She said her eyes change a lot, probably due to her diabetes being
Diabetes under
uncontrolled.
right, yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, I would think just about anybody can get a prescription, I mean, so that I wondered about that as well. But
All
I
right.
was
So she has a hole in the middle of her visual field, and that is caused by the macular degeneration. So she's not nearsighted and whatnot. Then, then what is the purpose of having readers?
I don't get it.
that's what I want to know. I don't understand that. And
Because readers magnify, okay?
right.
If she has this hole in the middle of her field of vision, readers are not going to correct that either.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
And like Charlotte pointed out, her reading glasses are very strong. So they go up to like, what is it, like
4.0.
4.0? Okay. So I thought they went to 3 something. Okay. So
4.0.
there is a ceiling. So, I don't want Jerry to be blind. I don't want her to, but why do you not? I don't know how often she goes to get those shots, I guess, also, but that would be a huge wake up call, I would think, to get your diabetes under control. If it's, and she really didn't mince words about that. I've not seen her or heard her. Now, I didn't catch that comment that Amy said where she said her vision changes multiple times a day, but saying that you're, getting those shots, I've not heard her say anything like that has changed. Like her status on that is different now. I just,
with what
don't know.
Susan's saying, she sees what she wants to see, because there's days when she's on a live that she can read that screen like nobody's business. And then there's times, well, Jim, you're going to have to read them to me. I can't see. But you can see that she's following the conversation on the screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's so true.
She's looking directly at it.
Right. And Finny, think about it. So with her saying what she said, that Amy said, she can go back and claim that and say, well, today my eyes are better. Yesterday my eyes are worse. Later today my eyes are going to be this or that. So I guess she can blame it on that.
Oh, yeah. That's a good fallback, isn't it?
But, again, if we're going to be fair, this did, I'm pretty sure, say it was a new medicine today. And, there's new competitors that come out to treat different things and that kind of thing. But it was for macular degeneration. And I remember it saying that, the goal would be for you to be able to go several months without it. So I want to be fair to her that, maybe she doesn't have to get those shots all the time. Because I know it's been sometimes months when she'll
Yeah,
go get,
I think it might be every 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
She
90 days.
She's canceled them before too.
Yeah, that too.
Wow. See, okay, I wouldn't be playing with that at all.
And then remember the chemotherapy that she was on seemed to be helping her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, I don't remember that, but now that you say that, it sounds a bit familiar.
Amy, do you remember that? Because you're good at that too. If she's still in the chat, because Amy comes and goes.
But yeah, that would scare me so bad. You know what I mean? Like I'd be like, okay, I don't care what has to happen. I'm not, I'm going to get my diabetes under control. Not playing around with losing my vision.
My father was devastated when he lost the right to drive. This is back when there was no computers and the doctor sent a letter, medical form, to the DMV stating that he could not drive. He was legally blind. So if Jerry gets SSI for being legally blind, I want to know how her license is not taken away.
Right. Me too.
Great point, Diane.
Because, and then for her to get in the car and just say, well, I'll drive, all this, all that. Remember that day, you guys, she said Jim is her eyes for her. Isn't that what she said? It was something that outlandish.
Yeah.
Jim
but in all reality, as much as she lies, how do we know her license hasn't been taken away?
Oh, and so she just chances it?
Mm-hmm.
That's awful brave.
Yeah, but I mean, you also are dealing with somebody that would not doubt, pulling the cancer card if she got caught.
Well,
I think the would care.
I could see her trying to talk to an officer.
Yes, true. Well, I think she's going to do that when they come to take her out of the house. Like Mona said, they're going to push it to the very end. I think she's going to put on a massive display. You're kicking a stage 4 cancer patient out of her home. You're putting her out on the street. I think she's going to tell Sally the same thing. She probably already has. But yeah, she's going to pull all of that to these people. And they're like the bank. It doesn't matter. They're there to do a job. Say whatever to them.
The thing is, and I totally believe that, that's a high probability, like what Mona says, that they're going to push it to the very, very end.
I agree.
But the thing is I can't fathom that. You know what I mean? I can't even fathom.
Well, unfortunately, I can't.
So will you tell us?
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm not. I just mean I can't fathom the idea of I'm going to put up this front all the way to the end and see if it might work out for me, when in the meantime you could be productive and make sure that you have a place to live, versus now guess what, all your stuff is out on the curb and you're living in your van.
Well,
I mean, I don't understand the reasoning in that, to think that way. So, but I guess that's what she'll do. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's the part I don't get, Finny. That's what I meant earlier when I said that, I thought that she would, at least as greedy as she is, and that's not even greedy, that's just self-preservation, that she would be figuring out, okay, if all else fails, I know we can go to this place. She might not advertise it because she wants to push Sally to the brink and have Sally give in. That's what I really believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like she might get actually qualified and they'll offer her a place to live, but she'll keep saying, we're not going to get anything. So I don't know what we're going to do. We're not going to be able to go anyplace. So can we just stay here? Like that?
Yes. Right. Well, I don't think that she's looking. I mean, because I believe Mona. Now, had Mona not come along, so glad she did for friendship and other purposes, but had Mona not come along, I would have thought that secretly that's what she's doing. But from what Mona's told us, she doesn't have any need to do that in her eyes.
Nope.
So she's not even looking in secret. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is
wow.
stunning to me. I mean, that's just stunning. That is.
I mean, I picture the cops having to show up and literally dragging her out of the house.
Well, and her the whole time throwing the cancer card.
Yep.
You're going to do this to a stage 4 cancer patient. Yep.
It's exactly what I think she's going to do. And again, Jerry, because we know you listen, you guys have shown that you do. Or if you don't, we know now that Nellie will come and tell you everything, especially if it has to do with getting Sally in trouble for something.
Or
Amongst
any of your other little friends. Yeah.
your other birdies, just, I'm just the most disappointed in Nellie. The others I expected of. But wow, I mean, oh God, it's just shocking. But at the end of the day, like I said a second ago, they are doing a job, right, Mona? I mean, she can't convince someone to say, oh, you know what? She's so you're a stage 4 cancer patient. Yeah, we can't legally kick her out.
Oh
She
no.
gets done.
They no.
They don't,
That,
they're there
that
to do a
cancer
job.
card is not gonna cover her butt in court. It's not. No.
If anything, the judge would be thinking, where's your family? Why aren't they taking you in?
Don't you think
Her main thing is she never thought or expected Sally to grow a backbone.
Yes.
Exactly. But don't you think that a judge would say the exact same thing that we have been and what I was just saying? Then why didn't you follow through with, if you knew you were being kicked out, if you knew that this home was no longer an option, why didn't you start making preparations and finding a place for yourselves to live and looking into all these things months ago when you were given notice that you're not going to be living here any longer? A judge would definitely say that.
She will be just like Jim was and look them straight in the face and say, well, I never expected Mom to kick us out.
But they've been given months.
Oh, I know that, but what I'm
that this
saying
is
is
going to
that's
go
what she's
down.
going to say.
So if she goes in front of a judge and tries to plead this, I mean, he's going to say that you knew about this in advance. You had plenty of time to make arrangements. You could.
Oh, I
have
didn't
done
say
things.
it would work. I'm just saying that's what they're going to say.
He'll call her right back out on it. It doesn't matter that you're stage 4 cancer patient. You're still here today, and we had to drag you out of the house, didn't we? Well, then you could have done it back then when maybe your condition wasn't as bad.
And I'm going to tell you that I don't even so much think anymore that she wants that house. I think it's about proving a point and being right.
Oh, you mean
struggle. She
spite.
wants a power struggle with.
Spite.
So so by that you mean she doesn't, I was talking to my husband for a minute. So you don't think that she's necessarily hell-bent on the house? It's just,
It's just more along the lines of, let me show you what I can make people do.
It's out of spite, right?
Yeah.
Mona?
I also don't think Jerry likes change. I really don't think she likes change.
No, she doesn't, because she had consistency up until the house got flooded there in New York.
Mm-hmm.
She had, no matter how bad the condition was or anything like that, that didn't matter. It's just she was rooted there from day one, and she wasn't leaving until she was made to, pretty much. So I guess Mona's right. This will be the same situation here. Until she's made to leave, she won't.
Nope. And she does not care what position it puts Sally in at all.
Well,
and
I
she
don't
doesn't
think she
care
cared about the position that it put her family in, that, with the house back in New York, that, the brother had to come in and actually foot the bill to make all those repairs, because for some
I think
reason
he actually had to buy it. I think the
I
house
think
went up.
so. I think he had, until, yeah. She didn't care that it all, the damage that,
no.
because it wasn't just the damage from the storm. It was, how bad they had let it go.
Right.
So, I mean, because even with the damage from the storm, if things were kept up, it might have not have been so bad. But there's
Good
that.
point. Well, what do you think, Mona, as far as for so, we're not giving away things because, we're just, but as far as scenarios, so let's say, what do you feel comfortable saying as far as how things might play out? Like, let's say for the scenario, if Sally leaves and they stay in the house, how do you think that'll play out? I mean, because Sally can still do or if Sally, what of the different scenarios, is there anything
I'd
that you
let them foreclose on that house and let them get kicked out.
are you concerned, Mona? Oh, I so agree. Are you concerned, Mona, for what might be done to the house if that was the case? And we're not saying that that's what's going to play out.
I
We just
mean, I am to a certain extent. But I also think that they've done damage already that's going to take away from Sally in the long run when it comes to selling that house. Because I think about the best thing that she could do, and this is my opinion, having not talked that over with Sally, is that she just may end up having to cut her losses and just walk off. Because by the time the inspectors go through that house and tell you everything you're going to have to fix from their hoarding and all that, or not so much Jim's hoarding, Jerry's hoarding,
Sure.
then, I mean, it's probably going to cost more to fix that house and it's going to get it ready to sell than she would ever make anyway.
Right.
So, I'm not saying they can't do more damage, but I mean, like, the hot water tank is a prime example. He hasn't worried about fixing it in a week.
A week, yeah.
So, I mean, can you imagine what that house?
Because he doesn't worry about bathing. It's not a priority. Their priority isn't the dishes sitting all over the counter. They don't care. Their pet cat that's in that kitchen that he's seen doesn't bother them. And by pet cat, I'm
I
not
know what you're
talking about a
saying.
mouse. I'm talking about a rat.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, the reason why I asked that was because I think that, there are quite a few people, and myself is, I'm one of them, that worry that, if that was the scenario to
I
play.
don't really think. I mean, it's possible, I guess, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Until they physically remove her butt out of that house, she's always gonna think she's gonna get that house.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to physically remove her. It's gonna have to be where, I mean, she is going to fight to the very end because in her head, she has the power to get her way. And she usually does get her way. And
Right.
she's not used to Sally saying,
Yeah.
nope,
In her
not this time.
defense, yeah, it's worked,
Yeah. And, even
not
though
just
it's,
with Sally.
yeah. And I mean, even though it's Mona and her girl's fault that Sally got a backbone, how crazy. I mean, they're not used to it. I mean, they're not. And another thing that proves to me too that Jerry does not give a rat's ass about Jim at all.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Or he wouldn't. She would not keep encouraging him to put his mama through shit like this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, and
Sally mentioned earlier the more stress started after Oreo came.
Mm-hmm.
What and they don't see that. They don't see that, and Jerry don't care. And she'll
I
sit
think
there and go,
Jim's seen it, but I don't think Jerry gives a shit. I think Jim knew, and I mean, but once Jerry puts her foot down,
as little as she takes care of that dog,
yeah, she's like I said,
you should just get rid of the dog. The dog should go to another family. She's never going to do that.
go to a family with children and they could play with it and take it for walks and let it outside in a fenced backyard.
Really train it. Give it good
Keeping
food.
it inside and giving it 2 naps a day in the crib and then putting it in the crib all night. That's cruel.
Yeah. Well, we hear the dog cry. It's sad. I know we're not there to see what's happening all the time, but we know what doesn't happen. We at least know that. We know that the dog doesn't get taken on walks and things like
And this
that.
is why Jim does not, or Jerry does not want Jim to get a job, because then the responsibility is on her.
Yep.
And she would let that dog pee and defecate before she got up.
Well, and think about it. She has no problem in our tax dollars paying for her to have everything under the sun, but no way, if Jim went to try to get a job, say Jim said, look, I've now seen the only prayer we have of owning a home, Jerry, it's probably 5 years from now, and I got to get out there and I got to work, and I've got to do the finances because you're going to, and so if all said, still though, wouldn't get it because she would think, I lost my train of thought on where I was going with that, you guys, but I think you know what I mean, at least that it, no, you don't, because I lost my train of thought, but regardless, it just sucks because, part of my thing was that she gets his hopes up every time. A second ago when you were saying, like with Jim, I was thinking, how can she love him if she's getting his hopes up yet again? A loving person would say, Jim, this is all very unlikely. Your disability, you might get it, but it's going to be years from now. It's going to be 2 years from now. You don't have any of the diseases, the list of diseases that's, US wide that you have to have it expedited. You just don't. You don't. And so that's yet another thing he's going to get let down on. So are you saying, Jim, that you're not going to work for 2 years? Oh, now I remember what I was going to say. So she's okay with taking our tax dollars, okay? But if he says he's going to go get a job and said all that to her, the very first thing she's going to say to him is, Jim, you don't want to do that. They're going to garnish your check, and then you'd be working partially for nothing. No, Jerry. He'd be working to pay off what you stole, what you willingly and knowingly stole. And he didn't really steal
He didn't know about that.
But
he
I
didn't know about those cards.
So I think he found, this one that he's got the judgment on is the first rant that, Lisa commented on that time. Because in that one, he mentioned that she had taken out a new card or whatever. And he kind of, I think, don't quote me on this one, alluded to the fact that this wasn't the first time, which of course, I don't believe it is either. But he was really fired up about her doing the credit card. And if I'm wrong that was the instance, or one of the instances, then I will just say it's my opinion because I can't go back and look at it because she made him take it down. If you don't have anything to hide, Jerry, why'd you make him take it down? Why?
Yeah, she has made him take several down. However, that one with him about ED and him taking out the Mr. Lover, she hasn't taken nothing down that's very disrespectful to Jim or Sally. Why hasn't she taken down where she's calling Sally a spoiled brat and making it like Sally's inept to do anything?
Because she doesn't want to.
It's just, I don't get it. But yet Jim will take his down.
Well, isn't that the narcissist thing with her? I mean, that's why she doesn't take hers down.
Yeah.
Because, she's right.
Mm-hmm. In her mind, she thinks she's right and she's justified. She doesn't see it as disrespectful. He deserved to hear it, or we deserve to hear it about him. Remember that time? It wasn't that long ago, you guys. It was on a Sunday Live, which all of them have been. But she was like, I want to know why. I think it was to Martin, whoever Martin is that gets in there and sometimes asks hard questions of her. How dare he? And said, why do you think that you deserve to not spin spoons? Or why did he said something like that? That was one of the times she went into like a 45-minute dissertation, just going off on, never really answered the question. But in that, she also said, why, I'm curious, and you could tell there was anger there because she tried to hold it in when she answered that 45-minute word salad, but then you could tell there was anger there, at least on the one I'm talking about. And she's like, I'm curious why you think that Jim is right or Jim is likable or something along those lines. Part of it was that Jim is right and I'm not. Why do you take his word for it? So that's why I think she keeps some of those things up, and she just doesn't want to take it down, like Vinny said. Part of it is just, why wouldn't you take down your bare butt? You're showing your whole.
I can't believe that's still out there.
Good Lord. It doesn't take that long. Now that I know how to do it, I mean, it's a pain in the butt. You go into studio, you have to clip, you go in and you say trim, cut, or whatever.
Right.
You go in, you find that part, and then you cut it out. You literally just put like
Or if you
parentheses
can't
or-
figure it out, just make it private.
right. What's so important
Like,
about that?
come on.
But I think, you know,
The
part of
shower
it-
day.
yeah, she wants people to sympathize with her, you know, and she wants people to, as far as the leaving up stuff about Jim. And sometimes it works, don't you think, Mona, that people sometimes feel sorry for if they're brand new?
Yeah. Yeah, because I fell into the same thing.
I did too. I felt like, oh, if this woman just had a little more money to
Well, there you go. If this woman just had a little more money, let me ask this: if any of you know, because I'm not monetized, I don't know. But if you were to take a video and make it private or completely delete it altogether, does YouTube take that money away?
I
I deleted all mine. You just don't earn any more money off of it, but
Yeah.
I
But what
deleted.
you earned up to date was yours, and now that it's gone, it's just gone, right?
It's just
Right.
gone. Yep.
Okay, well then that doesn't apply then, because I thought with her, you know, if it meant that she was going to lose money, but I mean
Right.
she still I guess could see it as an opportunity to earn money if people
Yeah,
are
that's
going
true.
back and referencing that old video, which that's actually what we're guilty of, is that we do go back and reference old videos for what she said. So by getting another view for this or that or whichever ones, then yeah, I mean, whether it's only a few cents or whatnot, she doesn't even want to lose that.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
and
great.
that was a real shower lady that ended up quitting, I believe, because Jerry always said that, oh, she couldn't shower. Oh, she didn't feel well. Oh, her skin was dry.
Right. I forgot about that person. That person probably expected her to do what was recommended, you know?
Right.
That person was probably sent from a real agency.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Where's her
Had
other
to-
help that's supposed to be coming in? This been talked about for a couple months. She
Well, she
contacted
doesn't need
them. She
him now. She's
contacted
got Jim. She. Well, I mean, really, I mean, it's part of the reason that she can keep him there all the time, because if nobody's coming, well, then she needs him there all the time. I mean, to
Right.
me, that's the rationale that's being used.
Yeah. And if a person does come, you know, she does, like you said, she can't say, well, I need Jim for this.
Well, that would let him off the hook now, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And can't do that, can't have that. No.
And think about it. Most people who show up are going to expect her to do things like want to shower regularly and want to, you know, or bathe regularly and want to do things like get up and get around and stuff
Well,
like that.
it's actually part of their thing too, that they not necessarily require that you shower, but they're trying to promote the activities of daily living, which is bathing and taking care of yourself, you know, as far as all your hygiene goes, that kind of thing. And the thing is, with them coming in and being able to help to provide that, if that's not being done, and let's say those bed sores just get totally out of control, and to where, you know, now it's just a raging infection and things are going really far south, then somebody's going to be poking around with the agency that provided that aid and said, okay, why didn't you do something, or why didn't you report this, or why didn't you tell her, or did you try? And I mean, I guess, and they do in every one of their reports, patient refused shower.
Right.
I mean, if she didn't get up, and today was supposedly the day that we're going to take a shower, and she said, oh no, I can't, I'm just too tired, I don't have the energy or the spoons to spend to get in that shower, well, then the aide would have written that in a report, because they've got a CYA. Let's just put it that way. They've got to do it all the time. But still, that would also give them reason to say, we can't help you anymore. You're not willing to follow the recommended advice and everything. So we really, if you're not going to do, I mean, for me to just come and sit here and shuffle some things around for you, that's really not what we're there to provide.
Right. There's other people that need
provide
that.
true assistance
Yeah.
to you.
Isn't it true, Finney, because you kind of worked in that environment, that also that let's say that they chose to just keep notating it, but then, they go to their supervisor or whatever, they read their logs or whatever it is. Isn't it true that then if Jerry Ann's boo-boos get worse, Jerry Ann could claim, well, they didn't make me do this. I didn't know any better, and my caretaker
Oh,
is
she
not.
could try. She could certainly try, but in every report. But you see, that's the thing, because all the reports from the aide or whoever it is that's being sent out, whether it's an RN, whether it's an aide, whoever it is, all those reports get turned into the office, okay? And then the office has that person that's their overall case manager, which is usually an RN herself. She's in that management position. She might go through those and see this pattern of, well, Jerry is refusing to take a shower all the time. Jerry is refusing to let them do this or that for her and whatnot. And then she makes an assessment and decides whether Jerry is actually in need of this care or not, and can make that determination, well, the patient's refusing all the services that we're trying to provide for, so therefore she doesn't need us. Bye-bye, Jerry.
I would think they would do that, like you said.
They do. I'm telling you that they do. I have worked for agencies. I have worked in hospitals. I have worked for many different facilities and all that besides the hospice. And that is exactly what they do. It's not to throw them under the bus, but they have to do this in order to protect their reputation and not fall into someone like this being able to throw a lawsuit at them or something. They have to CYA all the time.
Well, think about it. If Jerry was like very elderly or had dementia herself or something, and let's say that Jerry says, it's okay, I'm not going to report you, I don't care about these things, I want you to just do this. Well, let's say that Julie or someone like an adult child came in and said, hold on, my mom isn't being cared for at all. Like my stepmom had to do that with her friend Diane when she was visiting not that long ago. Actually, it's been about a year, but she came in, she was like, her shampoo, she's using lotion to shampoo her hair. She was like, somebody is not watching carefully enough. She can't care for herself. So even if Diane had said, well, I don't mind, I'll use lotion for my hair, someone else who is of sound mind would step in and say, why are you allowing her? This reflects poorly on you. If you can't make her do these things, then I would think you wouldn't stick around.
Well, you're not allowed to make anybody do anything that they don't want to.
Sure.
That's like one of the number one rules. You cannot make them. You cannot
force anyone.
But like what Sally just said, unless you're Cece. Well, was Cece employed legitimately through an agency that she reported to all the time? I guess she was, because she had to log in like on her phone. But she could have logged in on that phone, or Jerry could have, actually,
logged in.
Usually the way it works, okay, when a caregiver goes out to a client's home, okay, to make sure that they're actually there and they're not just saying that they're there, because they could still be at home and log in on their own phone, to make sure that they're not just, trying to mess with the system. They make them log in on the person's, either the client's home phone or cell phone. So Jerry could have said, yeah, don't bother coming today, but I'll log you in on her phone, which I do believe was the case, because it kind of had been mentioned a few times. Cece was pretty much fudging the system, and Jerry and her had an agreement upon doing that. There was a lot of little things that shouldn't have happened. For instance, if Cece was really a legitimate aide and whatnot, she would have been coming in the back door to try and get pain meds from them. Okay.
Jerry.
Cece. If Cece was a legitimate aide, okay, and was doing things on the up and up, she wouldn't have been sneaking in their back door to try and get to the pain meds.
Right, from Jerry.
Right. From Jerry. Oh, you're right. Okay, yeah. From Jerry. Yeah, and you know where we keep them. Just go ahead and get them. No, that shit don't happen. Sorry, that just don't happen. I'm just saying, But she
And
didn't
what
do
type of
things
person
on. She didn't
gives
do
her
things on the up and up, Sally. That's the
what
thing.
what stage 4 cancer patient that is in so much pain with all these cancer tumors all over her bones and such is willing to give up her pain pills?
One that doesn't need them.
Yeah.
One that's not in that much pain that she's relying on them.
Yeah.
That she's able to give or sell them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And get maybe
Trade them
marijuana
or
for them.
whatever.
Yeah. I mean, and they're expensive, those pills. We were told that, it's like $20 or something a pill. That was several years ago. I don't know what it's set now, but
Well, another one of the rules of those agencies is you must provide your own transportation.
Right.
You're not to
Yeah.
expect or ask the client to get you
No.
there and back, or to take you places, or pick up your boyfriend, or
Yeah.
stop and get you some groceries. That's not part
No.
of the deal.
That's
The
what Tasha said.
liability on that just makes me, I'm just like, whoa, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No company.
Tasha is a home health aide, and she has to provide her own vehicle. So she uses mine or JR's, whichever one. She
Yeah,
has
sure.
to provide her own rides. She cannot use the customer's vehicle.
No, and if she didn't have that, then she'd like to have to try and find public transportation to get to her job, or walk, or whatever means necessary. But it would never, ever be up to the client to make sure she got back and forth and the places that she needed to go.
Right. And she also did her laundry at Jerry's.
And that's also a no-no.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's why I say Cece wasn't a legitimate aide. I mean, she might have worked for somebody, but she was not on the up and up. All those things are not allowable in a legitimate agency that's providing caregivers, Yeah. Oh, by the way, she might want to come over and do some laundry, and you're going to need to take her grocery shopping. And if her boyfriend needs a ride, well, you could expect to get that too. That's not in the flipping contract.
Remember when Jim blew up about that she brought Cece and her boyfriend lunch and stuff? He was upset.
Yeah. Well, and rightly so.
Right.
Yeah.
Rightly so.
Well, and even 20 years ago, when I worked with that group home, there were rules like that in place. Now, I can't imagine. It's only going to be more intense, and they're going to have more ways to make sure that these things don't, so it sounds like they were a match kind of made in heaven. They both had, a reason to want to try to fudge the system if she indeed was coming from but it also sounds like they were very lucky that something didn't go wrong, because had Jerry gone septic or something, and it could have been pointed to the fact that, who knows? But, Jerry has really, that's one thing, you guys, she has really, I don't want to call it a unicorn, but she's really beat the system in more ways than one, many times.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she ends up getting her way, and that's another reason why she's convinced she will get her way this time, not just with Sally, but she wasn't, to my knowledge, ever scared about the PPP stuff beyond the fact that she did something stupid and she went in, apparently, I didn't check this, but one of our inner crew did, that she went in and changed the dates on those, where she showed the halls and everything. And I mean, you can always see when the date was really made. So that just made you look worse by doing that, when and if they really look into that. But, same with other areas of your life where it looks like you have gotten away with stuff where you haven't gotten a diabetic coma or a diabetic, episode that's really bad, or I mean, at your size, tell me I'm fat shaming if you want, but at your size, sitting as much as you do, to not get a clot or to not get horrific dental issues.
You know what I thought about that, about the blood clot?
Yeah.
Because she has sat so much for so many years, that might be why she doesn't get blood clots, because she's never really been a mover.
So maybe her body is just
her body is like used to it.
Maybe. I don't know. I just don't know the science.
JR was in intensive care for 2 days, and he formed a blood clot, and he had to have Coumadin shots in his stomach for like a month. He was bruised all over his stomach. But just 2 days laying in bed, he got a blood clot. But he was a mover. He was a worker. You know what I mean? Prior to everything that, But yeah, he always moved.
Well, that's what I'm saying. She's been extraordinarily lucky. She really has.
She's just always been, I think she's kind of been a sedentary person all her life.
All their life.
Yeah.
Yeah, when she says she was a softballer, you guys, I think she
Oh,
probably
maybe.
really did play a couple times. She didn't last. She wasn't in there for a long time. I'm sorry, it's my opinion. I don't believe that she was playing in the hot heat day in and day out and doing that. No, I mean, they put her in catcher position, fine. But no, the band thing, I don't think she kept that up. I don't think
In
she keeps.
softball, the catcher is the worst person on the team. I'm letting you know right now.
Yeah,
Slow
I'm
pitch
telling you.
softball.
Yep. No, I know. I played. And here's the thing is that I mean there are some very talented catchers, when you're in a higher but either way, you guys, she is courting disaster in one way or another. At one point, like Jan said, things will get away from her. And that's what's happening now. She's got a leak basically in her life. It's like she's a balloon and the air is being let out. She just doesn't, she's choosing, Mona, to just not see it. And can you tell me what her mindset will be because you guys, here's what we can say without a doubt. We can't say that it's going to go down that Sally leaves first and that they stay or that whatever. We can't say how any of it will play out. What we do know is Jim and Jerry are not going to be able to keep that house. That's what we know. We know that 100%. They're not going to be able to keep that house. They're just not. Even if Sally gave in,
They couldn't afford it.
Sally, yeah, they can't. Sally's not going to live forever. I'm not trying to be morbid, but even if they gave in, and sadly, I think that this would be something that would only expedite. So it would give Sally such depression. It would just be horrific, But I'm so thankful that I believe that's not the case. I think Sally's making fantastic progress. But what do you think would happen, Mona, or will happen? Because at one point she's leaving that house. I mean, she's going to have to. They can't keep the house. What would her mindset be then? Disbelief.
She's gonna have the same mindset until she is physically removed from the house.
Right, but then what?
Like, what will she be in denial then, or will she just be? I mean, will she? I'm very confident that I think she will pull the cancer card even on these people who it's not their job to give her more time. But what will her mindset be when she's kicked out? Like when she's being kicked out and after? Because I think you've said to me before that she won't have a tantrum the way most people will, and that's fine. A lot of people are like that. They're just not going to throw a tantrum on, although Jerry's certainly thrown some tantrums on, but what will her mindset be, do you think? What would your mom have done, I guess, in a scenario like that where she was put out of the house because she couldn't afford it?
Or just the basic that she actually, an instance where she didn't get her way.
Yeah, like a big instance,
She always pitched a fit. I mean, in all actuality, when she's removed, there's going to be a lot of like pitching a fit. It's not going to be quiet.
So it will be like the tears and the stuff that we see, the wailing and stuff. Remember when Jim was trying
I
to
don't know that there'll be any tears. I think she's going to be pissed.
Well, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, I don't know that she'll even waste trying to come up with tears.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's going to be pissed. She's not going to go quietly. And I think she will be. My mom probably would have went and got a hotel and convinced herself that she was going to get back in the house.
Okay. That was the after the fit and basically Jerry's packed in the van and her crap's on the side of the road. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I mean that's kind of what I think Joni was asking. What's the mentality like there? I mean, are they still in disbelief that it's happening to them, that they're not wrong?
The first thing she'll probably say is, Jim, call your mom and make her stop this.
Yeah.
She's never gonna accept the fact that Sally's moved in someplace else and got a whole nother lease or whatever, and the house is gonna be
and is not going to help them anymore.
Huh?
And is not going to help them anymore.
No.
Because the
And
most important thing to know there, helping them anymore would be not helping them in
yeah,
their way of thinking. She can support them financially, or I mean emotionally. You know what I mean? I'm here for you guys. I'll give you advice, that kind of thing, but I'm not going to pay and because that is the last thing that you guys need. You have got to learn, even if that means failing at first. That's what they've got to learn. They're in their 50s. I mean, we all know this. They've got to learn these things. Deep
she's
down, that's
still banking. Still banking on the fact that Sally's gonna give in.
Mhm.
I mean,
At
there's
this
no doubt
point
about
in
that.
time. At this point in time, yeah.
Yeah, I mean they are, Jerry especially um is thinking that no matter what Sally says, when it comes down to it, she'll never do it. But what she doesn't realize is she's not messing with the usual Sally. You know what I'm saying? Like the old Sally didn't have anybody behind her like she does now.
Mhm.
And
Or a new lease on life where she's wanting
yeah,
to buy a
you
house
know,
all the time and to,
Something to look forward to, because
right.
up until this point, I don't think that Sally's had a lot to look forward to,
no,
which is extremely sad.
Gosh, that's
it is,
terrible. It hurts
but they
feelings.
don't care. I mean,
No.
I don't know,
in Jerry's
obviously they
mind,
don't
they owe
care.
her. In
Mhm.
Jerry's mind, she's owed. She's owed that house. For
Remember,
no
she told
other
all of you
reason.
that.
For
Yeah.
no other reason that she took Jim off of Sally's hands. Well, no, you really didn't.
No, my
You
God.
didn't take him anywhere. You brought him back.
Yeah.
You know,
And you
um,
added yourself, Jerry.
yeah,
You added yourself to her care. You know what I mean? So you not only didn't take Jim off of her hands, but you added yourself, and you are a considerable beast to take care of. Hate me if you won't for saying that, but what you're considering and what you are actually doing to Sally is so much worse than me calling you that. I do consider it beastly behavior. It is just terrible. I mean,
Well, and another thing to look at is that, and this would have to be with someone with an open mind, which we know that there's not in that situation, but that you've been very, very, very fortunate to have someone that, and during all this time, when you've not been able to toe the line yourself with bills and all the different things needed and are necessary in life to get by, that you've had someone there to make sure you did have it.
yep.
Now, she'll never look at things that way, that I've been
mm-mm.
fortunate for this past 11 years to have this woman in my life that made sure that I was taken care of. She won't look at it that way. Her perspective is that she needs to keep doing it.
Yes. Why now? Why now? Well, because in actuality, as lucky as it was for you, I think Sally sees now that it also was the worst thing to do for you, because all it's done is make you more sedentary. All it's done is make you feel more entitled. All it's done is make you worse. Seriously, in every
Yeah.
area, in every way of your life. If there was no one here to rescue you, you guys, there was that Sarah person that some people watched. I watched her because people told me about her or something, that died of cancer or whatever. She was still working. You guys, I mean, not everybody who has stage 4 cancer is able to just sit at home. And, once it gets bad enough and things like that, I get it. But Jerry sits around and plays games all day and shops and argues and plots and schemes. So had somebody been willing to say, and I'm not trying to blame Sally, because I'll be the first to say, none of us, living with her can say exactly what we do. It sounds easy, or it's easy to say, oh, I would have kicked her out on her ear. Well, she is a strict.
I would have kicked her out on her ass.
Mm-hmm. And the only thing she's ever worked hard at, y'all, is being a good manipulator. So it just, and I feel like I would have probably gone to jail, because I just would have lost my cool. It just would have infuriated me. Like her calling the brother. Oh my gosh, you guys, that made me so angry on Sally's behalf. I was like, talk about no boundaries. So, I mean, we've had to learn, none of our talks make a difference to her, but the fact is that we have, Fanny pointed it out too, we have done something good, you know. Sally had to find it in herself to have a new beginning, but she's found it. We're here for it. And I think we're going to, you know, I mean, you deserve now not to know. That's your own fault also, because we were willing to say a little more before. Not now.
I mean, but wouldn't it be nice to actually see some sort of positive outcome from all of this? Because we know
Yeah.
that we're never going. I mean, as much advice that as Dee has given through these years to
Mhm.
Jerry, to, well, you could help yourself if you do this. These things are available to you. If you look into this, you could probably qualify for it. I can't count how many times Diane has tried to offer a piece of advice that would be beneficial to them. Has she done any of it? No,
Nope.
because she
Never.
doesn't want to.
Nope.
But in this instance, where we've tried to, and I'm not going to go far on this, but tried to provide any assistance in the form of information of what could be possible and out there for Sally,
Mhm.
she's followed through. Okay. And now she sees there's a whole different world out there that I wasn't aware of. And I am able to do this, and I'm looking forward to doing this, and I am going to do this, and we're going to see that positive outcome from it. So there's the good in all of this. You know what I'm saying?
And it's so worth it, because
It is
I
worth
did
it.
beat myself up. I never was somebody that was on the gossip bakery before Jerry. You know what I mean? This just,
No,
and
I
I'm
didn't
not
know
blaming
about it
anybody that
before.
was,
I didn't
because
even know about it before Jerry. I had no idea. Never
there
heard of
were
it.
a couple people that we met that have been on it for other cases, but they're not all toxic. A lot of them just are, you know, they watch the videos. They just want to learn more about the people they watch. But, you know, it
Well,
became
most
a place where
everybody
it was
that's on
so,
there has been blocked on
yes,
whoever it is channel, so they
that's
have
for
no
sure.
He's
other
going to
place
be,
to go
Kim's
but
going to be
to.
unblocking people too, he said.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We forgot to tell you that. We forgot to tell you that he has changed his mind and he's going to be unblocking people.
I
So,
guarantee you, Dy-Dee won't be one.
yeah, I won't be one
I
either.
won't either, apparently.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
You're on a permanent ban list, sweetheart.
I
I
know.
know.
Me and my
I'm like,
girls.
I'm like on that watch list or something.
Wait a minute, I thought Mona was still, I thought she was the only one. Her and
He's the most wanted.
yeah.
I know the watch list, like a national security, national Henson watch list.
Good Lord. Oh, yeah, you head that up, ringleader. Okay. I mean, it's so ridiculous. Good
Someone
grief.
snorted.
It's usually me. It
I
wasn't me.
know, it's too
Yeah. Good grief.
funny.
Oh, man. Yeah. So I'll be curious, because I thought the only two remaining that were not blocked were Mona and Kim C. And I thought Kim C got blocked the other day. So
Kim
No,
C did get blocked.
he
yes.
blocked me because of what Dad said to him.
Oh, so
Mm.
you're blocked now too. I did not think that would ever happen.
Oh
Did,
yeah,
What
he's mad.
happened?
He got mad at Daddy.
did your dad get blocked?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, that's an
Oh, he
interesting.
didn't want her father sticking up for her or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
She could. I'm like, oh Lord.
Yeah,
Well, good
because
for them. They've surrounded themselves with positivity. I mean, it was all trolls in there tonight. I mean, there was Nellie, and there was, I mean, it was new people, you guys.
Sheila
I mean,
Hall, Corey,
yeah,
Redheaded Storm. Then there was some cis Cherokee lady.
yeah, SIS Cherokee, which, you know, that one, we've all been doing this like 4 years or so. These brand new people happen to know all about the Hunsons. I'm not saying new people can't find them, but it's just hilarious that these new people are in there referencing stuff that only people who are this close to this train wreck would know.
Right.
I mean, you just sell yourself out. You can't think that through. You know, if you're going to pretend to be brand new, or well, no, you don't have to pretend. We can tell who's new, but you need to. I mean, it just
I mean, Nellie's even pointed out it's a new account. It's a new
right.
account.
Yeah. Well, Nellie doing some of that is part of also what made me think that Nellie was starting to see the light and at the very least was going to try to be fair. And she has
Right.
been a more fair mod than I thought, but it just was
Well, she
so
didn't ever
hard.
want to be a mod.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's
She
what makes
said
her a good
she'll
mod.
never block or delete anybody.
Hmm. Well, I think she is a good mod. I just think that, the
I
fact
think
that she would
leaves
tattle on Sally is
she
just,
leaves it blocking and deleting up to them, doesn't she?
Yep.
Okay.
yeah, from what I know. So, but at first I was like, oh gosh, is she gonna first day, block it? Because there were a few, but I was one of the ones who wasn't blocked. And I thought, well, she'll probably block me first day, and she didn't. And I was shocked by that. And then I, was like, wow, Nellie, you've been more fair than I thought. I'm sorry, and I really thought that she was different. That she was starting to see the light, and she was going to remain loyal to Jim. But I didn't. I thought she was seeing stuff about Sally. And
Right.
so I was just really disappointed that anybody would tattle on what Sally's doing. I mean, why? She just wants happiness and she
Right.
She's a
It's elder
grown
abuse. I don't care
woman.
what
yeah,
anybody
it is
calls it.
elder abuse.
It's
Look it up
elder
on the
abuse.
internet. It's so common. I mean, y'all still, this is worse that what the Hensons are doing is, I know, because I've watched some stuff on it lately. I watched like 2 or 3 things the other day, and that didn't make me an expert on it, but Diane's right. It is elder abuse.
It
And
is.
what they're doing is up in the more harsh. Yeah, there's some people that get beat up by people. Okay. Yeah. But they're basically beating Sally up, in my opinion.
Abuse doesn't have to be physical.
Yeah,
Right.
emotionally. I mean, when you
Emotionally,
tell
mental,
But yet, in some ways,
financially.
it is. In
yes,
some ways, it is because why should Sally have to wear a sweater or a coat
yes,
in her home in the middle of summer when it's 100 degrees outside and it's freezing inside? That is a physical effect.
it is to be cold all
To
the
be
time.
that uncomfortable in your own home?
Yeah, yeah. Jan says, I guarantee Jim and Jerry see this new neighbor pastor as someone who can do for them. And how horrible is that? I mean, they're like, it's literally Jerry is still on the Serengeti and she's seizing up her prey, just like she did with Jim. She knew when she wrangled Jim in that he would be pretty pliable to her manipulation. I will never believe otherwise. I know that she knew this. She was old enough at the time to know who is easily convincible and that kind of thing, that she could easily, and she's taken full advantage of that to this day. And so I hope you're wrong, Jan, but I wouldn't doubt it. That's what she's always done. Hates the church, hates everything to do with them because they're not a lending or, they don't give out free money. Okay. Which
Right.
is not what they do. Hates the church until now. I guarantee you, if this is someone they size up, all of a sudden it'll be nothing but sob stories about the church or stage 4 cancer, or we're about to be put out on our own. Could you tell your congregation? Who knows?
Well, that's very interesting because I tell you what, well, of course they waver, but his Facebook posts go the majority of the time, I'll put all your faith in God and Jesus and
Yeah.
praise. And then, about the 10th one, well, Odin is this. It's like, okay.
Right.
I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad. I really hope that there's not going to be another victim, but I swear, you guys, that comes back to why she hasn't done the GoFundMe. There's something there that
Yeah.
we don't know about that she doesn't want to be uncovered. Because of all the people on this earth, even more than the one troll, sorry to mention it, that we know is so Sue happy, even though she never has a case for anything, Jerry, as greedy as she is, would have done talk about blowing out the knee, not at the Christian rock concert, it'd be getting to that GoFundMe. I just believe the day she got stage 4, I'm sure she, for a moment, visions in her head, my opinion, but I think she was, and then she realizes, no,
Well, that's why she got the P.O. box. She thought there was going to be a lot
yeah,
of gifts coming in, and
mm-hmm, yeah, just
Well,
willing to
one
didn't
take
time
it.
there
fall for
was
it.
the friend mail was ridiculous. How
Yep.
much friend mail she got. I mean, I was just like, it was like every other video. She had something
Mhm.
to open. I'm like, damn, people love this lady. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, because she's a good convincer. I mean, I'm telling you guys, I was going to spend at the time, I was working myself and, full time. And I was like, if she just had, some better organization, that room is a fright show. And now I'm so glad that I was like, let me watch her for like a week. I had this hesitancy in my gut. And all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute. You just threw your husband not only under the bus, but you backed up, ran over him, and then drug him behind you for about 10 minutes and then covered it with some icing but I'm not complaining. What? Okay. And then I saw her do it to the mother-in-law, who I thought that was her mother at first because she called her mom. And then I thought they really did own the house because she said, this house, when we bought it, I took her for her word on that.
Me too.
Yeah. So when I found out those things, I was like, thank God I didn't send her money because, first of all, she wouldn't have spent it on IKEA stuff, like some nice. No, she would have spent it on other stuff, I'm sure. Maybe she was actively crafting at that time. So if I'm fair, maybe she would have. I'm so glad I didn't, is what I'm saying.
She would have made just yet another Dollar Tree haul with that money.
Yeah, with junk that would still be sitting in the room right now, gathering mouse poop and dust. So. Yeah, I mean, it's just.
Here's the thing: she needs to get rid of all that stuff.
Yeah.
Point blank, you're going to get in an area. You're going to be moving to a place that you're not going to be able to have all that room. Now's the time to do it while you have the time.
Jan says, I agree. Jan says, I think the GoFundMe would interfere with her SSDI. I also believe, and I agree, that's so true. Because she's mentioned before, if she makes more than such and such a month, and isn't it like $32 or something, her SSDI would come down.
Well, it's SSI, so it
SSI,
might be
not SSDI, yeah.
because that's like a welfare. That's not a disability.
And Jan says, I believe 100% she's on disability for lack of mobility due to obesity.
Well, Jim said obesity. I've been trying to find that.
I would love to find that one. But the fact that he said that, you guys, he didn't come up with that out of thin air. She's always been touchy about her weight. The fact that he said that one night is just Jim, because Jim, if you want something to be known, you tell Jim and he's going to tell it on a live or whatever. And he might get some of it wrong. We can all do that. But no,
it depends on what he's been programmed to say also.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, nobody can forget the time that he said she had stage 2 cancer, and then it quickly became stage 4. And I'm not doubting what we saw Mona see, because I believe 100% in what Mona saw. But there are still so many things that it does make this the strangest case of stage 4 cancer I've ever seen. She's extraordinarily different than most stage 4 cancer patients, just in the fact that she's never even been to the hospital.
She's had it, almost 3 years and has never been hospitalized.
That's insane to me.
No, but if you call an ambulance
right now, it is 3 years right now.
Oh, October,
in the end of October, towards the end of October, that she came out with that.
I have
that video. Yeah,
yep.
I'll even look.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'll even look.
Go for it.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to know. Yes, please let us know. But y'all, so the 5-year odds, if you look up the 5-year odds, those are for people who are healthy. That's not taking into account that she's 400 pounds or more, or I don't know, or a little less, or that she's got diabetes, or that she's got any other comorbidity. So these are things that only hurt her statistics. Again, I don't want to say anybody with stage 4 cancer is lucky. But
it says 3 years ago. Let me see if I can pull this date. It's not letting me do it right away, but we'll get it. We'll get it. Okay. It was October 8th. October 8th of 2021. She came out with the
3
video.
years. So she's 3 years into
We're
it.
past the 3 years. Yeah. There you go.
Wow.
So, well, here's a interesting question. Where do y'all think will be, not just us, I mean, with the couple and their situation and her health situation, where do you think we'll be in a year from now?
I don't think she is going to be with us.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
And
can
I think more so because of the
I
way
can get on
she
board with that totally, Diane.
the way she neglects her health as is, not just taking care of the stage, for my oh, I got a low battery warning. Um, Not just that she doesn't, take care of her cancer, but she just doesn't take care of herself at
Her overall health has deteriorated.
all. Hmm.
Yes, yes.
And what did
Well,
it say, Jenny? Isn't it like 20%, like at 5 years to be there at 5 years? Don't quote me on that, but I just,
So it's not a good number. Mona,
no.
what do you think?
Um, she's gonna not be with us, and hopefully Jim will be in a Section 8 apartment set.
Mhm.
Do you
And
think Jim will carry on making videos?
Yes.
yeah, I do.
I do
That's
too.
okay. And that
Yeah.
would be fine if it was his own life. I mean, I think, don't
Yeah.
y'all think that we
I
see
think we
a
would
totally
see a
different
whole.
side of Jim?
Yeah, I think we
Oh,
would
yeah.
see a whole different side. I do.
Well,
Yeah.
look at when he was, the Texas trip. He
Yeah.
was a different Jim. Not at first, but as more days went by with her gone, it was like he just started to blossom. You
Yeah, he
know,
did.
he
Yeah.
really did. He started looking free on his face, his attitude. It was just, we had been watching him long enough that so many people have mentioned that we all noticed a marked change. It was big. It was a big deal.
Well,
And
Joni, what's your
yeah.
1 year projection of this situation?
um, I think she'll still be here. I don't think that, I think she'll still be here. And I think that they will be either in a Section 8 apartment or that they will be in maybe up with one of her sisters. It could be that they have to that this gets pushed that long. I don't know how long. I think that, I don't know. I hope that's not the case. I really do. But I don't want to, because we're trying not to say everything about things going on behind the scenes, but I really don't think that, I just know they're not keeping the house. That's what I do know.
Well,
No matter.
yeah, that's a given. But I'm just saying, a year from now, where will the Hensons be?
I think they'll be, I really do think that there are very good chances that they will be in a Section 8 apartment. I think they may try a hotel for a couple months. And I think they will be trying to get money from Sally and from her family to pay for the hotel because she's not going to want to give up her money to pay for the hotel. And, I know people have said, oh, Cancer Society, this and that, but she needs to be in treatment. And it can also be pointed out to them how she has misused money, so I just, yeah. She needs to be looking. You should have been
Well,
looking.
I mean, but that 9 whatever and change isn't going to pay for a hotel for a whole month. It isn't going to
Right.
pay plus the storage shed,
Mm-hmm.
plus whatever other needs that they have. That like that their EBT doesn't cover as far as food, but not just that. I mean, you're going to have to feed that dog and
Yeah. Oh,
all
yeah.
those things.
That's
So I mean, it just that $900 and change is not going to cut it and go that far. So you're either going to have to beg, borrow, or steal to be able to even live in a hotel for a
Mhm.
month.
Yeah.
1 month.
I've got little dogs, $60 in treats 2 days ago. Now we buy the really big bags because it's more economical. We're about to have to do their 2 bags of food, and we do buy a really good quality food, but still, you guys, that'll be another $70. And I know that two of mine probably still don't weigh as much as Oreo, but
Right.
pets are expensive. So that alone will eat
Mm-hmm.
so
Mhm.
it's that's
They
just
are.
a fact. I mean, it's the truth. So, and we know how many treats she gets, the dog. That's the only quote unquote
Well,
love she gives the
not
dog.
only that, but having a pet in tow limits the availability of the
Very
places
good
you
point.
can go that will accept a pet, whether it
Yes.
be a motel, a rental situation, whatever it is,
Yeah.
the Section 8, there's going to be a limitation on that of, well, they don't accept pets, so you're going to either have to give up the pet or look for somewhere else.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah,
And
we went and adopted a dog this morning for Elizabeth, And she had parameters, which I'm on her account, so I already knew what they were. But like, it couldn't be more than 14 inches tall. It couldn't be certain breeds.
And this
The
is your daughter's
landlord had to
yeah.
have a picture of it first. And then the pet deposit was $350.
Woo!
So, it you can't. You're right. You can't, and it don't matter if you've already had that animal and you have to move and it's in a place. If they say you can't have it, you can't have it. I mean, you know,
I've
and
seen tons of ads on on Marketplace or just different places, in groups like on Facebook of people having to give away their pets or trying to find a home for them themselves before turning them into a shelter because they have to move and they can't have the pet any longer. I can't tell you how many I see all the time.
Even cats now.
yep,
Well, yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, even if it's, um, whatever, a hamster.
Horrible or hamster, yeah.
They pet, there's so many places. I think more and more places have gone to not allowing pets because of the damages that are caused by it, which even though you give a deposit and whatnot, a lot of times if it's that much damage, that deposit didn't cover it. And yes, they can sue you for the difference of the damages that were caused. Does it mean they're going to get it? No. So I think that's why they become more and more strict with allowing pets.
Rena says the country will give them a voucher like they do the homeless here in California. What would that voucher entail? Would that be to find a home? I mean, she certainly, got everything she could from the Red Cross when they moved, even though I don't believe that they gave any of it to Sally for the deposit for this house, that kind of thing. I think it was all spent on what Jerry wanted. Some of it might have been spent on gas and stuff to move, but the majority was on shopping. I mean, I would be willing to place a very large sum on the fact that, yeah, she doesn't, I mean, just like the PPP, she used it the way she wanted to. That's why there's something there she doesn't want to be seen. I think she fudges the numbers on the electrical thing. I think she has fudged numbers on all sorts of things. She has said that before, you guys. I never get mad at somebody who drives up in a Mercedes in the, what do you call it? The government welfare line. Everybody hustles differently. That's stealing. So
Yeah.
that's what that is. It's stealing. And so, yeah. And she might be successful if she would do a GoFundMe, but she knows that there's been so much fraud with GoFundMe. I mean, it's in the news all the time. They say,
Yeah, they really are checking.
yeah, they really are, because it's giving them a bad rap, because it just, people keep figuring out new ways to do it. And I guarantee you, I've not looked it up, but I'm sure they have people that's their job at GoFundMe, just to,
Like, did you use the money? Okay, that's a great point. Did you use the money for what you said you needed it for? Just like you said you needed a gas card to get back and forth to that trial that you were supposed to be part of, but you didn't use the gas card for that.
Well,
Well,
and she probably
wouldn't let that fly.
no, and that she probably made it out to be, well, this is a long way away, St. Louis. She probably even fudged just how far. I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, they can tell that for themselves, the mileage
from their address, maybe, but she probably was given $50 is my guess, and for the gas for that, because gas isn't cheap nowadays. And she had Jim. She mentions that Jim made sure to go in the gas station. They don't drive anywhere. They drive nowhere except for her very few appointments that she keeps and the little ones that he's done lately trying to build a case for disability. So yeah, she spent, I mean, prove me wrong, Jerry, but I think you spent that $50 on, snacks and stuff from in there.
I also think they don't go anywhere and drive anywhere, because I'll throw down a bet. I don't think they have insurance on that van anymore.
Yeah.
I
Get
think
caught doing that.
Quit paying it.
Yeah, get caught doing that.
What, Mona?
probably not. And I'm almost willing to bet you too she don't have a valid license.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I mean, she don't tell the truth about anything anyway. Why would she tell the truth about that?
Mm-hmm.
True.
But when she shows these videos of her driving and stuff like that, I mean, that's the kind of thing.
Yeah, but she hasn't lately, though. That's the
No,
thing.
She hasn't for a very long time, since like the beginning of this year or whenever it was. Maybe it wasn't even this year, of when she made that one Dollar Tree trip and she dropped like $120 on crap.
just pure crap, more bunny ears, and just stupid
And
stuff.
stuff for the dog.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff for the dog, and and of course that all had to be in multiples. There had to be 2, 3, 4 things of each one. It's like, oh, okay.
My Belvie is saying, every number of years, don't you have to take a vision test when getting your license? That's a good question. I've not had to, and my renewal is good for like 10 years now. So
my dad renewed his license last year when he turned 85. And he didn't have to take a test.
She remembered the eye chart too, she said.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Remember, she memorized it.
Yeah.
I just don't think she has a license anymore.
Wow.
She probably doesn't. But hey guys, my Chromebook is down to 4%.
Okay.
All right.
And it has a short in the cord, so I wouldn't be able to just sit here without wrapping it.
Well, we've been on plenty of time, honey. Thank you for having us. Had a good time.
Thank you for coming. I just, like I said, I was ready to bang my head on the wall. I was like, you know what? I just got to talk and see how people feel about this.
Yeah.
Well,
I hope,
but it was just let's just do it. Let's just go. So.
Before we go, does anybody think she'll do a live? I think she'll do a live tomorrow.
I think she'll do a live tomorrow. I have to go to Amelia's here tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
So what?
Amelia's got a home game, and I'm not missing this one.
Oh, don't miss it.
So I'm bringing the 2 youngins.
Well, you know, you can always watch it at a later time, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm not worried about that. It's morning. They don't get up that early, girlfriend.
Right. No,
that's true.
We're looking at noon or 1 o'clock.
Yeah, no, we'll be back.
All right, my friends. Well, thanks for having us.
Hey, thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you, Diane.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Talk to everybody later. All right.
Bye.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.
Yo, all these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, what am I doing? Did I do it right? Yeah, all these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, I can't think straight, need the light. I need to breathe, get me up and out of the sheets. Onto my feet, another cup of coffee and me. That's what I need, my eyes puffy, I can't see. I'm too tired to function, but too lost to sleep. Ay, I think I need to be on something medication. I think I need to figure out the segregation. I think I needed just a better education to understand a world that's so complicated. Intoxicated, every night faded, just so I can sleep thinking that it's sated. I feel hated, I feel hatred, I'm lost deep in my mind that I've created. I have dreams where my life is devastated, feel so real that I wake up shaking. Need thicker skin cause this life is no haven. Nod your head if you get what I'm saying. All these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, what am I doing? Did I do it right? Yeah, all these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, I can't think straight, need the light. Yo, all these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, what am I doing? Did I do it right? Yeah, all these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, I can't think straight, need the light. I don't really think I understand this world now. Got my head spinning round in a circle. Everybody lacks what they need internal, so they compensate with everything external. Not trying to throw shade, no way. I'm just trying to find the meaning of life, hey. There's happiness if you try to live the right way. Forget about what others have and live your life, hey. Be aware of who you are, what you're good at. Take a step forward, see where your foot's at. Stand tall, stand proud, talk loud. Every word out your mouth has purpose now. You just gotta get rid of the bad thoughts. Hating others cause you know that they gotta lie. Forget that though, you got plenty, you're alive in this life. You got time, go get it. All these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, what am I doing? Did I do it right? Yeah, all these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, I can't think straight, need the light. Oh, all these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, what am I doing? Did I do it right? Yeah, all these thoughts keep me up at night. Yeah, I can't think straight, need the light.